And welcome to episode 10 of the Gym Leader Chat Lounge podcast. We have made it to episode 10. We're sticking around. We did not give up after 2 weeks. So, thank you.
Some of us did.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's watched this far. And thanks to everybody who enjoyed my clickbaity band video last week. It was our best performing episode by far. So, putting some big band words in the thumbnail does some tricks. So appreciate Andrew Mahone for bringing that up and giving us those views. But yeah, anyways, this week we're joined by John, as usual. How are you?
Good.
And special guest making his 4th appearance. This 4 or 5?
I don't know. I'm never going to live it down. I'm good, Ben. How are you?
I'm so good, bro. I'm so pumped to be back on the pod. Tony, welcome back. Been a big week for GLC with all the band discussions, and then this Sunday, we pretend Saturday doesn't exist in this universe. Sunday.
Whoa, you're talking to a standard top 8 finisher here.
You're talking to a standard top 8 finisher here.
Then you should know. You should know.
I know how fake it is.
Their accomplishments.
I know how fake it is. So, just kidding. But yeah, this Sunday is the Perfect Order release weekend 3K event for Gym Leader Challenge at FullGrip Games. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the events that we look forward to all year. And in this episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about how we're feeling about it. We're gonna do later on. We're gonna do our top 8 predictions. We're gonna do a little guessing game between the 3 of us, and then next week after it happens, we'll come back and crown a winner between us of who was the most right with their top 8 predictions. And then we've made a big tier list of all the archetypes of GLC. At least all the ones that matter, and we're gonna put them in the tier list and see. Yeah, just have some fun talking about the 3K coming up. So that'll be great. Stick around for that. But real quickly, I did want to address what's happened about the Natu D Valley ban discussion in the past week, because there's been a lot happening. Andrew has talked a lot, and if you are interested, he actually did a stream this past Friday where he talked for 2.5 hours about his band philosophy, and answered a lot of questions that have been going around, like why does he get to be in charge, and how does he decide on what gets banned and what doesn't. So if you're interested in any of those things, I highly recommend watching the stream. I watched the whole thing. It is very informative. He explains his position well. So I really recommend watching that. And then as far as the ban goes, it has basically all but been confirmed. I mean, it has been confirmed. Dimension Valley will be getting banned in April sometime. He'll make an official announcement later on after the 3K, and Natu safe for now, maybe a little bit on the watch list, but I think it's going to stick around for a while. So that's where we're at. Just D Valley is going to be going down, and you guys should go watch that stream. And we'll talk more about the ban when it happens next month, but that's just wanted to give a quick update for everyone who watched last week's podcast and is wondering. Tony, you weren't here. Got any takes on the band discussion?
Nothing that hasn't already been out there for the past week or so. Just I think D Valley is like definitely the right card to get rid of. And for me personally, I still like the idea of getting rid of not all Ancient Trait guys, but just the Delta Plus guys. Because like my whole shtick that I've been saying this past week is like the only time that any Ancient Trait has ever felt unfair to me is only when it's a Delta Plus guy. And it's as Andrew said, it's all about you want to eliminate like non-games and like cheesy ways to just cheat, like multi-prize turns or stuff like that, stuff that just isn't fair. And to me, those like really I'm not like drawn one way or the other, but they border the line. They're right down the middle for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And John, since this week has happened and we've found out more, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I'm pretty much where I said I was at in the last episode. The D Valley van, that just it feels right. It feels good. Feels like it's hitting all the psychic decks where they need to be hit. I think it's gonna be what the format needs, and it'll be nice to play in a world where there isn't D Valley to see if anything else truly is problematic. So just taking one thing away from psychic at a time. Big fan of that. I think yeah, definitely a good decision.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a fan of. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of bands, but I'm a fan of like a shift in meta. Give us something new, something fun to play with. So I am looking forward to the time after D Valley. I love D Valley. It's been busted. Psychic's my favorite type. But yeah, I also won't miss it. We're gonna bravely move on into the new world. And yeah, but before that, we've got the 3K, of course. Perfect order, new cards, telepathic energy, Tyrantrum. That's it. Barbarical, if you're crazy. Uh, yeah. So
Diggersby.
Diggersby. Oh yeah, gotta mention my guy Diggersby. He's on the tier list. He's going in A tier for sure.
100%.
But as we lead up into the 3K, obviously all of us are going to be playing in it. It's on my mind constantly. I'm thinking up deck ideas in my head. And when it comes to this time, it's almost frustrating because I have so many different decks that I like really want to test. And then like we only end up testing like 3 or 4 times. So I have to kind of ignore those ideas that I like no probably aren't going to be my deck choice and just move on to like what I really think I'm going to play. So at this point, week before the tournament, I have I think 2 decks that I'm going to be trying to pick between, and I'm excited to get more testing in. We're going to go test with Mahone and a bunch of other locals this weekend. Yeah, it'll be exciting to find out what I'm going to be playing. Where are you guys at in this stage pre 3K?
I'm in a pretty similar spot. We have our one sweaty super tryhard sesh happening tomorrow. And yeah, I think my field is a bit more broad, but not by much. I think I'm between like 3 decks. Um, but yeah, just like need like the one, you know, nose to the grindstone, whatever the saying is. I need the one sesh to tell me what I'm gonna play.
Mhm. I've been trying to grind basically as much testing as possible. Pretty much asking for a testing partner over webcam or sim every night that I can. So I've been trying to grind out a lot of games. Really felt like I was narrowing down the list that I was hoping to play. And then we get to like this 2 weeks out time, and I feel like the but what about question kind of creeping in, and being like, well, what have you considered this type as much? And so sometimes you get to that point where you're making the final few touches on your deck, and start to be like, well, did we really think about this archetype that much, and do we need to do that? And so I'm definitely looking forward to a big testing session that we have a lot of people playing a lot of decks, and we can kind of just kind of narrow things down and make things a little bit more clear, have a better direction in this last week leading up to the 3K.
That's right. Yeah. Do
For
you
sure.
think I feel like a lot of us are on, kind of different 60s right now. Like, I think I mean pre-testing session. I'm feeling like everyone's kind of just gonna hone in on their one list, but I don't know. Are you guys gonna feel? Do you think we'll kind of come to a consensus and do a same 60 situation, or are we all gonna be on slightly different things? You think?
Without saying too much, I think if one specific archetype is decided, I think we will land on like a same 60 situation. But if it's like not that archetype, and like I think it's going to be like pretty different. Like they're going to be like 5 to 7 cards off from each other for the most part, because everyone kind of seems to have their own unique tastes and what they're liking right now and what they're finding. I mean, we're all finding success to a degree with them. So I don't really necessarily see uniting necessarily in that way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think tomorrow is gonna or this testing session. That's what I mean when I say tomorrow. I think it's gonna determine so much. I could genuinely see 6 to 8 of us playing the same 59 cards, or only 1 or 2 of us playing the same 60 cards. It's actually maybe we don't even know. It could only be 1, 2, 3 of us on the same type. It's just anything could happen at this point. We still got a week and a half to go. So
Yeah, I feel like maybe because we haven't done a big testing session yet, it feels a really broad right now compared to previous times. Like when we all played Garbodor 2-3 Ks ago, there was we got 10 or so people on the same 60. So I don't. Were you on the Garbodor, John, or did you play something else?
No, I wasn't in that Garb crew
Right,
that time. I was playing some other version of Psychic, I think. So
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. The 5-2 King, bro.
5-2 King. Yep. Yeah. Can't consistent if nothing else.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, it's hard. Yeah, without a big testing session, I know I've been, messaging in our group chat. I've been throwing out ideas and to Ben and stuff, and your response pretty much every time was like, "Cool, let's play some games with it and see how it goes." Because it's we can talk and talk and talk about things, but until we put it into practice, you don't know how it's going to go. And so, finding the time to play all these games and test all these ideas, you kind of got to filter the ideas down because you don't have enough time to play all these games with all these thoughts. So, yeah,
yeah. Every time. That's my answer every time is someone's we should do this. I'm always play me in a match right now. And every time I'm always every time I introduce a new deck or a new idea for a deck, I'm always needs to run 10 games against Natu Blindside to see how it fares up. We need to do 10 games of that matchup right now. And that never is going to happen.
and your classic is the just click the new hand button on Limitless 5 times and
play
broken.
Test. Yeah, tabletop Limitless. New hand, look at that broken hand. New hand, look at that broken hand. Yeah. All I care about is turn 1, bro. Turn 1. Yeah, that's all that
matters. Sometimes that's enough of a sufficient filter to just filter out the decks. It's now we don't need to look at this idea anymore. Those hands were trash,
Yeah, that's right. Sorry for all you guys. Sorry for being vague about what those ideas actually are. All will be revealed, of course, after the 3K, but we like to keep our ideas close to our chest going up to it, because like we said, something we look forward to for a long time, and I know a lot of you listening will be there, and I don't want to play against you.
These tournaments are our regionals, these are our internationals, so
exactly.
We try as hard as we can.
That's right. It'll be super exciting. I am super excited to see anyone listening who comes. Feel free to say hi to any of us, right? No,
Yep.
Yeah. Open to chatting.
Come say hi to special guest star.
Yeah. Yeah, Tony, our special guest, will be there. Yeah, so before we get into the actual 3K predictions, let's do a quick recap of what happened at FullGrip this past week, week 32. At FullGrip Games, it was a rainbow of a top 8 this week. Tony, take it away.
All right, we had Chase getting his 3rd badge, joining the crew of 3 badge holders, I believe, with myself, John, and
Hunter.
Yeah, myself, John, and Hunter. We got Craig in 2nd place here with maybe the most unique deck we've seen in a top 4 this year, and it's not his first time.
I mean, Kai showing up with both Mega Boom last week and Stage 1 Grass this week. He's kind of the GOAT right now.
That's true.
Kai's run's been pretty hype.
Yeah.
I put his official, for anyone looking at the screen, Kai is also Huang here. He goes by Kai. I just typed Huang this time because it was on the standings. But to clear that up, Kai is Huang.
Yes. Yeah. As I was saying before, Craig in 2nd place here with the powerful Squall Blastoise, and we have his list to share. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We got our very own John Patterson in third place with this metal list that he's been refining. We'll also talk about that. And in fourth place here, we got Kai, as mentioned before, with another grass deck, a different one than he played last week. He played this unique stage 1 grass box deck with it like a rain dance style kind of deck.
Exeggutor.
Yes.
Exeggutor Cherim, yeah. Have that list as well. Yeah, I've got all the top 4 lists to show off, so that'll be fun. Yeah. And go ahead, John.
No, really cool to see a rainbow of types there. You mentioned earlier that this looks like a top 8 straight out of the first days of GLC, where it was kind of the Wild West, and any type could do. So it's really, yeah, this is what you start to see when we reach that halfway point in the badge race, where people are forced to these other types, and you see a lot of these players who are good players that are forced onto these lesser than archetypes, but then their skill, boosting them up into the top 8 standings, and they're making it as far as they are with these decks that aren't the top tier ones that they don't have available to them anymore. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. And I do want to shout out, we've got a second grass in top 8. I played grass, as you see down there. We actually had 7 people playing grass this past week. And a large reason for that was it was our local Michael's birthday. Fan favorite Michael with the motion. Shout out Michael. He brought a bunch of his crew, his friends who don't normally come to FullGrip as often, but they all came and they all played grass in his honor. He's the grass warrior. So that was a fun night for Michael's birthday. Shout out Michael. But Zach, one of those guys who was playing grass in his honor, got the top 8 with the Mega Boom grass. And then just wrapping up, the top 8, we've got Carpenter bubbling out of top 4 with the Turbo Dark, Hunter Spread Lightning getting that top 8, and Chris Scove with a Uxie, Cophagrigus, Mismagius spread deck, and Tony and I having some not so hot night down there, 10 and 13, adding another tie to my tie pool, so yippee, very happy about that.
Death, taxes, and Ben going to time.
Literally. I mean, okay, I was looking back. I have 4 ties with water and I have 4 ties with grass. It's literally just because I was playing, I was getting a bunch of ties. Okay, I'm sounding like I need to defend myself, defend my honor.
There's no defending.
I know, but I'm playing, the grass is all control grass. I have ties with, that's a tough one. And the water, it was when I was playing special tanky whales, which is also another really slow deck. So a large part has to do with the decks I'm choosing.
You're just a thinker.
I am a thinker, bro. I'm deep in the noggin. But yeah, let's talk about some of these lists. We've got Chase's fighting RDT list. This is Hunter's Image. Hunter won with this RDT deck a couple weeks ago. The only change in Chase's list from Hunter's is that he put the Silent Lab back in over the Martial Arts Dojo. And I think I heard him say he didn't use it at all. So
I think the most use it had for him is literally just being able to Tinglu another time, just get it out of here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, this is actually the 3rd week in a row RDT has won. The 3rd week in a row, we've only had one person playing fighting during the night, and that person ends up winning a badge. So, yeah. I mean, RDT is still broken, apparently. I mean, a lot of players have won with Psychic at this point as well, so maybe not as much competition, but yeah, fighting still performing well at FullGrip. Then we've got, like Tony said, one of the more interesting decks. We've got the Powerful Squall Blastoise from Craig. Appreciate Craig for sending this over on such short notice about an hour ago. But I was asking him about it. He basically was like, yeah, just it's Baxcalibur, normal Baxcalibur Frostmoth Hydro Pump. Just take Baxcalibur out, put in Powerful Squall Blastoise, and add Mallow into the deck, and this is what you got. But it's working for him. Has anyone played against this?
Yeah, I've played against Craig a couple of times. It's cool. Craig, a metal guy. I'm a Tang fan, finding favor in the powerful Squall Blastoise, having a similar attack or similar ability. Instead of digging to the top 4 and attaching energy, the Blastoise goes a little bit farther, looking at the top 6, and then just throwing those energies onto your field in any way that you'd like. Craig is most definitely a vibes guy, and this just has same vibes as the Matang, and that's why he's playing it. Likes Blastoise, likes the ability, and that's why it's in the deck. And this just goes to show: just play with your favorites and the things that you like, and you can succeed and do well.
Yeah. No, it's true. I was telling Tony, I was like, meta is not real. All these tier lists we're about to make doesn't matter. Just show up with the guy you like. And honestly,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna just say, yeah, like honestly, like that's one of the best parts about GLC, and maybe something that will help me have a little more fun in the coming weeks, since I have been kind of hating myself with my deck choices lately. I just need to go back to good old Rillaboom Grass. Like that deck is just, I love that deck. Kai is inspiring me. Craig's inspiring me. So yeah, if everyone ever tells you you should not play that GLC deck, just give it a chance. You never know. Stick with it. Don't listen to anybody. Don't go online. What were you gonna say, Tony?
I was gonna say that, I mean, like, you look at the rest of this list and you got all the other usual suspects in here. So, Teleon, Frostmoth, Octillery, like you can play your favorite Pokemon and still play the good cards. There's genuinely 30 decks that on a good day could win our locals. Like you play well and you got a good list, then send it. You can win.
Yeah, your opponent might just have a rough start as well. I mean, we saw that's what happened this week when John played against Craig, right? You had a rough start.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, Craig got out of the gates quick with a turn 1 Irida, I heard, or something like that. So that's all you want to see in water. Congrats, Craig, getting another top 4 with this powerful Squall deck. And then we've got, by popular request, Kai's Stage 1 Grass deck. Well, people were requesting his Grass deck from last week. I have that one too. It's coming next. But we've got the Stage 1 Grass week deck from this week. And it has the Cherim line with the Exeggutor as an attacker, as well as Eldegoss to fish out energy from the deck. And from there, it's pretty standard stuff we've seen before, just hasn't been super popular lately at League. Yeah, Kai making a comeback, going 8-2 over the course of 2 weeks with Grass after not showing up for any weeks this season. He's the GOAT right now.
Beast mode.
This Exeggutor is from the Mega Evolution set. It has the Stomping Wood attack, does 30 more damage for each grass energy attached to it with a 60 damage base. So getting up to 150 when you have 3 energy attached. And you use that Cherim, just to flood the board. And the cool thing about the Exeggutor is you've got the Execute with the propagation ability, so it's super easy to get your Exeggutor going again on the following turns, because it executes propagation, gets itself out of the discard pile into your hand. No need for a recovery card, just get the basic right down immediately, and sometimes even skip a turn of waiting to evolve entirely with the Force of Vitality. So you can throw out multiple Exeggutors in a row with this deck. So yeah, I like the idea there. I think Exeggutor is really strong. I personally think he's much stronger if you're playing like Meganium, but when you're playing Meganium, you might not have room for a Stage 1 attacker is the issue. So Kai playing it with just the Chairman, it worked for him. I don't know what his matchups were, but any of you guys play against him?
I did.
How'd it go?
I went first and with Fan Roto.
All right.
So that's
and that's what happens. That's why you play the decks you like.
Yeah, brother.
But then from last week, for those of you who were asking in the comments, sorry if you felt like I ignored you. I'm reporting on it now. I've got the list for you here. This is the deck that Kai played last week: a Mega Boom, Meganium, Rillaboom, Torterra deck. Got the Bramblegast in there, which isn't always the most popular, but with Psychic going down in popularity, as well as Psychic dropping Wobbuffet more recently, I like where Grass kind of sits right now, potentially, and the Bramblegast can get up there. If you don't know, Bramblegast has an ability which boosts its HP for however many prizes your opponent has taken, so it can get up to like 300 HP late game. He's got the Lux Cape in there. He's got TM Evo. Gonna try to turbo through his deck. Got the Badoo, of course, as well. And any thoughts on this deck, y'all?
I think the Bramblegast is insane and pretty underrated, especially in Meganium, because it's just like, you never want to throw like more energies than you need to on it, but like the Meganium stretches those energies. The Venusaur in the past stretches those energies so far. Just throwing 2 on there is like 4 coin flips to try and take the knockout and stuff. I played against a grass deck with a Rillaboom and with a Bramblegast, and at 3 prizes, all of a sudden my Zamazenta was not knocking it out anymore. That is a very scary thought to have. So definitely something you have to play around.
Yeah, it gets up there quick, and I've actually never played with Bramblegast since Forest has come out. So that's almost even scarier. So like even if your opponent does find like the Hex to KO it, if you can get it back out immediately and have them respond to force them to respond to another one that now has even more HP than the last time, could be really good. It's just Grass is just one of those decks that might get in its own way early game, but one thing Grass is good at once it sets up is just having big guys with Torterra and the Bramblegast. So I like this deck. This might be the deck I play next week because I'm off the egg mill, bro. I'm off the egg mill.
You know what Ben is playing to the 3K. We know.
I'm off the egg mill.
And it's
wink,
mega.
Wink, wink. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so props to Kai. Good job. Someone else want to take some talking time?
Tony, you got this.
I got this.
Yeah, man.
Oh, this is a sore subject. I lost to this deck.
All right, tell us how it happened.
Me too.
All right,
I lost too.
So we got. Well, I didn't lose to Alex. I lost to like this exact same 60.
Well, I lost to Alex.
Oh, that sucks. Couldn't do me. All right, we got 5th place here, Alex Carpenter, running the Turbo Dark List that has seemingly kind of come out of nowhere at our locals. Actually, surprisingly, like popular. I want to say like 3-4 players every week.
There was more Dark players this week than there was Psychic.
Yeah. I was going to say, there was probably like combined between Dark and Psychic. I don't know the exact numbers, but there was probably like 10, 11.
There was 5 Dark and 3 Psychic.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Anyway, yeah. This like new Turbo Dark style deck that's kind of evolved in the past like month or so, I would say. Got, just the classic guys. Got Guzzlord, obviously, Hoopa, Lipard, and of course the new Toxtricity, which is something the Dark has desperately needed for so long, some sort of energy acceleration that's on a stage 1, something you can actually get in play. But the cards that stand out to me, at least in the Pokemon line, is this Crobat line, that when you evolve from Zubat to Golbat, you get to draw 2 cards. And when you evolve from Golbat to Crobat, I believe you get to draw 3, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just these one-time draw effects in a type that's like desperately lacking draw support that other types have. You have Lipard, which is just trade, discard 1, draw 2. In other types, Psychic, you get to evolve your trade guy into another guy that can search for a supporter or draw 2 more cards, or this is cool to me because it's just a new way finding success to play a type that has kind of fallen off in the recent meta. So
yeah, and Alex doing well with it, going 4-1. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Crobat. I don't love Dark enough right now to be playing it myself until I have to with a badge. But honestly, the more I've dwelt on it, talking future formats here, I'm honestly excited for the new like smooth over Crobat that's coming out in the next set. I think it'll be a fun way to play Dark because I'm just a fan of decks that really have a lot of agency in searching out their things like Water Psychic to name just the main the main ones that do that, Shady Dealings and stuff. So I'm excited for Dark to have a way to do that, and I think there's anytime a deck has, it might struggle to get out the Crobat, that remains to be seen. But anytime a deck has search your whole deck for any card effects, that just gives so much agency to you as a player, to make, higher level plays than were possible before. And even compared to like other people playing the same deck, it's like it just provides this extra kind of like skill gap in the way that you move about it. So I'm excited to try it out. Remains to be seen, but I'm excited for it. Moving on. Badge Bust and Beyond, the new favorite segment of the pod. I don't think anybody commented on this last week because there was so much
there's way more pressing things to comment on.
We had so many comments.
I'll comment on it right now. Shout out John for this awesome idea.
That's right. Yeah. We had so many comments on our video last week. None of them were about Badge Bust and Beyond, of course. They were all about the ban. But maybe this week, since you have time, comment on if you like this way of us recapping our own league nights. We're doing this instead of just going through round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. It's just very monotonous. So Badge Bust and Beyond. We're going to go from worst performing player to best performing player this week, starting with yours truly.
What an intro.
Yep. Take it away, worst player. We've got Egg Mill, the deck I played this week. I went 2-2-1. And yeah, I tied round 1 and then I lost round 2. So my night could only improve from there, or at least the vibes improved. I was having, after I got over those losses, I had some fun yapping with Tony, with Peacock, and some other folks, and meeting some of Michael's friends. So it was overall a fun night. But Egg Mill itself, like I said, I think I'm over it. My badge moment, I gotta think about it for a second. It was such a rough night, but
find the badge in the rough.
Yeah. The badge moment, or what I enjoyed about the list this week, I got in there with Roserade on a turn. Actually, I squeezed to knock out Alex's Spiritomb for 30 damage after it had 30 damage on it.
I know he was seething.
Well, he wasn't seething because I was in a really bad position to like need to do that. So he was chilling. But yeah, so I mean, props to Roserade for getting in there, picking up the slack where my other guys left it. Yeah. My bust moment is just overall, I think I just want to play something different. I've given this deck a good chance. It is so strong when it works. And when it's working, it's like one of the most fun decks to play because it just feels so powerful. So like it'll have like somewhat of a special place in my heart while I maybe take a break from it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really cool deck. I think Vileplume is so busted. Exeggutor has such a cool effect. Torterra, obviously a menace. So I will miss it a little bit, but I need to switch it up for my own mental well-being. So the bust is just moving on. And then I guess that's the Beyond as well.
The bust just kind of tends to lead into the Beyond. It's like, what didn't work and what am I going to do about it?
So true.
Yep. And that's why this this segment is so good. So
smooth.
Yeah, shout out John again.
Shout out John Patterson.
Dude, I was just tired of yapping about every round. All right. I had to come up with something.
It worked.
All right. It's my turn for the BB&B. Yeah, I played this same colorless list that I played 2 weeks ago, as I wasn't able to attend last week. I didn't make any changes in my list. Just pulled the deck out of the deck box, half an hour before the tournament started, and I was like, yeah, this will do again. Trying to think of if I had any significant moments. Honestly, this was just one of the most underwhelming nights of GLC that I've played in a long time. I think my badge moment, it doesn't even have to do with the deck. It's after GLC's over and me and Ben Morrison, Ben Peacock were up by the counter talking with Natalie, and we were just having a good time. We were just laughing and joking about stuff.
Shout
there
out,
was nothing.
shout out Starbucks, Indiana, bro.
Listeners,
No,
if you're lost, I am as well. So
So Peacock came up to me, and he's like, he's like, did you see the new Dune trailer? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what's up with Starbucks, Indiana? And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, Starbucks, Indiana. He like said it like 3 times. He's like, Starbucks, Indiana. I'm like, all right, I need you to be straight with me. Just tell me what you're talking about. And so if you don't know Dune, there's a character named Duncan Idaho. And he I mean, I could spoil the first one, I guess. He died in the first movie, but he's in the trailer for the third movie. So he's like, if it's not Duncan, Idaho, it must be Starbucks, Indiana, right?
Starbucks, Indiana.
So we were just dying about that. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was honestly the highlight of my night.
Yeah, same.
My bust from this week, it's got to be Whiffing Fan Rotom, going first in 3 of my 5 rounds, and Whiffing Fan Rotom each and every single time I went first. Yeah, the deck. It's crazy how one card can affect the deck genuinely so much. If I like, my hands were good enough, I think, Evolution Search, Energy to attach. If I don't whiff Fan Rotom, those games, like, could have had a banger of a night here, but that's the nature of how it goes. Looking beyond, I still like the deck. Still think it's the way that I want to play colorless right now, and that's probably the deck that I'm looking to get my next badge with. And outside of whiffing Fan Rotom, which ultimately you really can't control other than maybe playing another out to Fan Rotom, but I got all the usual suspects in here.
Where's Battle VIP, bro?
Yeah, we play good cards here, man.
I mean, if you need it turn 1, that's an extra out, bro.
Maybe this is the beyond. Maybe next Thursday you'll catch me playing Battle VIP Pass.
I know the other beyond is Diggersby.
Oh yeah, we got big things coming next Thursday.
That's right. Perfect. We're legal
playing
for
the Fat Bunny.
Yeah, we're stoked on the bunny. He comes out. We're allowed to play him next week, League Night, and then at 3K, of course. Yeah. Any final? I mean, you said you're beyond good to go.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty content on the way that I have the deck built right now. If I want to keep playing colorless like this, then this is going to be probably the 16, maybe give or take 1 or 2 cards.
Did you attack with Greedent this week?
I did attack with Greedent this week.
Boom.
And it was awesome. I love attacking with Greedent. Now, I attacked with Greedent this week, and I got it knocked out, and Night Stretcher to scroll it back. How broken is that? How broken is that?
That's a badge moment right there.
Yep.
Certified badge moment. All right.
Yep. We got metal again. Took 2 weeks off of this deck. Felt like I earned my right to try it out again. Yeah, my badge moment with this deck would have been probably the fact that it was Michael's birthday. Simply because all of the grass players that he brought along with that, and all the grass players that just happened to be there, such as Ben and Kai. So was fortunate enough to face 2 grass decks tonight or on Thursday with my metal deck, which metal doesn't really hit a weakness, but metal sure does have a resistance that's really effective, especially when you're a tankier metal deck. So all my guys taking -30 from the grass. There was a moment where one of the grass decks played the Tapu Bulu that hits for 220, and any of my guys that have 130 HP or more with that metal core barrier will even survive the Tapu Bulu. Got field blowered, so it didn't actually happen, but it was cool that they had to go and find that off their Raihan. So just my badge is shout out to the metal guys for being tanky and resisting grass.
That's right.
Yeah, bust moment. So there was a game where I was playing against Dark and trying to figure out what I needed to do to set up my board off of Buddy Buddy Poffin. And you've got, I think I might have prized my Jirachi. So it's like, okay, I got Bronzong, the Varoom, and the Meowth, trying to figure out which one of those guys I needed to get out. I just kind of glazed over the fact that Guzzlord existed, and I was like, "Oh, all the dark guys are pretty small. I don't need Meowth. I'm going to get the other two." And then my opponent got to the Guzzlord turn and took 2 prizes, and then all of a sudden, I didn't have a response to it because I didn't have the Meowth in play. Then my opponent was able to take another 2 prizes, so took 4 prizes on that Guzzlord before I was able to knock it out. And almost ended up losing me the game. Was fortunately able to squeak it out in the end. That was not my loss for this week.
How
So
did you
yeah, and
win?
then
I was gonna say, bro, how you Guzzler took 4 prizes against you? You
oh,
still won?
dude, I won because of Lana's Rod. Because I had used like my HP buffing tools, and then they were down to like that last prize, and they ran out of energies to accelerate with their like toxicity, and they were just attacking. I think they only had um Hoopa left, and so they were just like trying to hit with Hoopa, and they had hit once. Um, I'm probably misremembering this a little bit, but anyway, I got my um, Fighting Fury belt back and just like slapped it on to. I think like Iron Crown, and it was just like they couldn't develop an attacker that could knock it out, and they sort of ran out of energies to attack with. So got scary, but got fortunate kind of that they ran out of resources.
Nice. We love it.
Yeah. Then beyond with this deck, I've been playing it for a while. I'll just go over it. There wasn't anything specific tonight that I feel like I need to change for like the future, but just in general, thing changes that I've thought about for this deck. One of which would be the Cynthia and Caitlyn feels pretty good in the deck, but it's kind of a flex spot for a supporter. I've considered it's good to get like the likes of your Guzma and your Hex, and even sometimes your Crispin back because you've got the 2 rods, so you can like reuse Crispin as energy acceleration, which I really like, but it's not really doing much for you in the early game. So I've thought about swapping that out for um, oh shoot, I'm completely blank. Brock's scouting, right? That's the get
Yeah.
so like get a couple of basics or get one of your evolution guys out. So like swapping that out for more of a setup card would aid in the early game with like just getting your bench full for like Zacian to attack for bigger numbers and just get set up in general. Would feel pretty good. So that's a swap that I've considered.
Would you consider something like Skyla over Brox?
What do you mean? Just for like versatility into like later in the game to search for other things that aren't like basics or evolutions?
Yeah, exactly. Because like if you don't have Poffin, if you have Poffin turn 1, I mean Brox is still nice but not necessary. But if you don't have Poffin and you have Brox, like Skyla could just get you the Poffin, Skyla could get you the Evo incense, and then later in the game Skyla can get you anything else.
Yeah, the problem I'm running into is like the idea with Brox is like I want one of my attackers to be able to like attach an energy to. So it's not always like the 70 HP guys. So it's like I want to get like Room and like my Heatran to throw the fire energy on or something. So it's like that's where I'm like Brox. I'm like, okay, it can get 2 of like any of my basics. And then also that consistency just to like find the evolution later. So that's why Brox, I definitely don't hate the idea of like something like a Skyla. But yeah, leaning more towards doing something like a Brox in that situation. It could really be anything. I don't know. So that's a spot you could kind of flex and maybe try if you're wanting to try this list. Just try something else out in that spot. And then the other thing with the new set coming out, I really like the Clef Key. that the new Klefki that's come out, it's got a torment attack, so it does 30, and then you choose one of your opponent's attacks, and they can't use that next turn. So maybe flexing that into the Zacian spot. Zacian can be pretty effective early game, but just being able to poke a little damage and like shut your opponent down for a turn, I think could be really strong in this deck. So those are two beyond considerations I've thought about with this deck in particular.
Sounds good. I like the Klefki idea.
Carson's broken into fighting.
Sounds broken into water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like to see
Sounds
those
just
guys
like a broken
sometimes.
card.
And it's
Yeah,
like
it can shut a lot down.
It's like nearly as powerful as Zacian when you have like Berserker and Muscle Band. Like you could take knockouts with that guy.
Yeah.
I don't hate that, but yeah, I mean you went 4-1. Congrats, and your bust moment was not the game you bricked and lost. Sounds like a pretty good night.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll briefly talk about that. So yeah, I mean you can watch it on stream, but I had a ton of supporters in my opening hand. Had to go first, so I think I just attached past, and then Craig on stream just like got a full top decked. I think he said he top decked the Iridas, just got a full board set up and Alolan Vulpix beacons to get Octillery and Drizzile, and I'm sitting there with I want to use Lilies, but I've got Marnie in hand too. I'm like, well, I have nothing going on, but I have to Marnie because Craig's about to pop off this next turn. And I do that and I just Marnie into nothing. And then Craig finds like the Pokepad off that to just like fully set up his board anyway. So yeah, that was another bust for sure.
It's so bad when you have nothing in your hand and then you Marnie into nothing. It's like, how is that possible? Like what?
Right, like these are completely new cards.
Yeah, it's like surely if I have nothing now, the next cards are exactly what I need. And so often it's like, nope, more nothing. And you're like, well, screw me, I guess.
Nah, it was, looking back, it was still the correct play. It was the play I needed to do in that moment. It just didn't shake out for me.
And that's how Blastoise got to top 4. Just throwing shade. But yeah, congrats on the top 4 placement. Badge Bust and Beyond. We did it. Week 2. 3K time. Why the reason why everyone is actually here. You got through the boring Full Grip Games League chat, and now we can talk about the 3K. So yeah, we've got 2 little 3K segments that I would like to do, starting with the top 8 predictions, and then we'll get into the larger tier list because that will take a little longer. But we're going to fill this out live. We're going to make our guesses for what each of us thinks will be, the types that make up the top 8 of the 3K, as well as which type we think is going to take home the title of champion. And right now I've got everyone guessed fairy. Isn't that crazy? No. This is, if you're watching, the fairy is obviously going to be our placeholder type because do I need to say more? So I've set it up. Obviously, we're going to zoom out of the PowerPoint a little bit so I can edit in real time as we make our predictions and discuss our guesses. And like I said, next week when we come back with the results, we're going to see who was right, see who got the most correct guesses for the top 8 and maybe some bonus points for the champion. Should we come up with like a little prize, a little wager? Maybe. Whoever wins, I'll pay for their entry to GLC League the following week.
Let's go.
Yeah, same. I'll chip in.
The two other people can split the $2.50.
$2.50.
Yes.
Yeah, deal. The $2.50. This is a $250 wager on the line here.
Yeah, deal.
But let's start with just our predictions for champions, and then we can go to the rest of the top 8. But champions each. Who's ready to go first?
I'll take it away.
All right, Tony. Who is your prediction for Perfect Order 3K champion?
Wait, am I giving a name or just the
No,
type?
just the type, bro. Just the type.
Okay.
What color?
Give me water. Give me blue.
He's going blue. All right. Do you want to?
I'm going blue.
What archetype do you have in mind, and why are you guessing this?
I'm going Hydro Pump. Not guessing for any particular reason. Wink, wink. But I just think everybody wants to be so distracted by the fighting versus psychic. Everybody wants to be so distracted by this. And nobody's talking about how broken water is. Nobody's talking about how broken Hydro Pump is. That Wailord's got 240 HP. In case you guys didn't remember. Give me water every day of the week.
Respectable.
Including next Sunday.
Respectable, safe choice. There's been a water Hydro Pump list in nearly every 3K top 8. Chucky Davis was the last water type winner. Wonder if he's going to run it back. I wonder if Tony's going to run water and take home the champion title. Who knows? John, do you have your prediction?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give the normie response here and go ahead and put purple up there.
The 250 is on the line, and John is not taking any risks.
Can't afford that. Can't afford that hit to my store credit, man.
All right. Care to explain, or is it all enough said?
No, I'll just say that not only like obviously like it really does feel like a version of Psychic is BDIF, but like it's gonna be my prediction like meta share wise is like 35 to 45% of the room. So just even playing the odds, it's like there's going to be, a good portion of top 8 that's Psychic, and I think a version of Psychic can close it out. There's a few good ones. I think it'll get there.
All right. You heard it from John. Gonna go back
All
to
right,
back.
Ben.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to back Psychic with John. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I think I'm debating not picking Psychic. I'm tempted.
Leave it as fairy, bro. I got the broken deck.
Am I gonna go Dragon? Am I gonna go Colorless? I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm gonna just lock in Psychic as well. It's too broken.
I was gonna say, don't leave me with the only cop-out answer.
I know, right? I mean, it's kind of it's in my head. It's like a little bit of a risk to pick purple because that's obviously the type everyone's expecting, and because of that, it's the one with the target on its back. So I'm picking purple because I do think it has that power level to do it, and telepathic energy is just crazy, But I don't think I'd be too surprised if something else sneaks in there, something cool. All right. And then I'll give a couple of I'll just run through my top 8 predictions real quick if you guys want to think on yours for a second. I'm going to say we're going to have the top 8 section in no particular order, just remaining types that might be seen. One of them is obviously Psychic already. I think I'm going to say we're going to see 3 Psychic decks in top 8 is my prediction. I think we're going to see a Dark sneak in there. I think a lot of people, expecting Psychic might swap over to Dark. And despite me thinking that Psychic has not a terrible matchup into Dark, Dark is one of those types that can definitely high roll its way in with Guzzlord and just quick attacks from Hoopa and things of the like. And if Psychic whiffs a couple turns, it's easy to run away with it. So I do think a Dark could slip into top 8. And similar to Tony, I think Water's always on the table. I don't know. Should I give it 2 Water?
Nah. Water's always the one.
Yeah, Water's always the type that no one's playing. There's never 2 Water at the top.
It's always the one top 8.
It'll be this time.
I think there will be a good amount of fighting representation in the field, but I'm tempted to say fighting won't make it. We'll see. Unless somebody cracks the T-Rex, like the T-Rex might be really good, but fossils are kind of a trap. I think just for, you know what? I'll give it a Colorless getting in there. Those Colorless decks can be pretty quick. I'm giving a second Water. I think Water's really good, maybe underrated for this week, like Tony said. can fly under the radar, and Wales just got just such a big number. And for my final top 8 pick, I'm going Dragon. Dragon also has that burst potential. It could sneak in there. That is my top 8 prediction. We got 3 Psychic, 2 Water, Colorless Dark Dragon. I'm locking it in.
Seems good.
It's a respectable top 8.
That seems solid.
Who's next?
I noticed you have there's a certain type missing from your top 8.
What, fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I don't.
But you're intentionally. You're just letting that disrespect be known.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh.
I think it could get in there, but I have to be a little risky with my predictions because it's never going to go the way you expect. I think fighting can get in there, but just depends. It just depends. We don't know. All will be revealed next week. We'll see. But who's next?
I can go next here. Let's I think I got this ironed out here. I think I got the exact top 8. I think I've got it. I think I've got it locked in here. So yeah, I was talking. Yeah, I got my sources.
You got the script.
Yeah. All right. So obviously going to be more than one purple here. Still torn on the number. I think it's going to be. Let's throw 3 more purple up there. So a total of 4 purple in top 8.
Okay.
It's going to be a purple dominated top 8.
Yep.
And then we're going to go. I think there's. Oh, maybe there needs to be 1 less purple. Let me think. I need those. I'm trying to think about the rest of these 4 because I have types I want in here.
Tough decision.
Yeah, 1 less purple.
Okay. What are you getting?
Well, he was decisive with that. He's crunching the numbers.
Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah. So, give me 2 fightings. Give me 2 fightings.
Okay.
Holy smokes!
So I think. Really tough psychic matchup with the RDT. I think 1 can still squeak in there. This is my specific prediction. It's going to be 1 RDT and then 1 newly invented psychic or 1 newly invented fighting. It's got the Tarragon. It's got the Barbarical. I think psychic's got the tool, or fighting has got the tools to reinvent itself. And somebody's going to cook something up with it. So
okay.
Then I also want to get a water in there.
Gots to get a water.
There's got to be a water in there. There's going to be a water. Yeah, I think I said might be 2, but I think we will just continue the trend of just 1 water. 1 water's enough. I also want to get the dragon in there. I think the Rayquaza is a really cool tool that it's got now. I think it's gonna take the deck places. And then so while I have 2 fighting up there, I don't imagine a ton of fighting representation in the field. I think there was a couple of these in the last 3K. I don't remember the exact breakdown, but there's a couple of Brave Souls, and I think I'm going to put it in there as my last prediction. It's going to be a Lightning.
Oh,
I think Lightning's going to get in there.
Come on, bro. Come on. I can taste the 250.
Yeah, no, Lightning. You guys just.
Oh my god, we are running your pockets, John.
John thinks fighting is getting into top 8, and also Lightning's sneaking by the top table fighting somehow.
Yeah. No. There's low percentage of fighting in the field, but 2 are going to get in there, and the Lightning's going to be able to dodge it. There's going to be 2 or 3 Lightnings. I think they can do it. I believe.
Okay, John. Sure. No comment.
I'm gonna need 2 league entries covered if there's a Lightning in top 8 for this slam.
You know what? I'll give that to you. That's fair.
All right. Whoa! What's going on?
No. I'm just moving. I'm just rearranging. I'm rearranging.
Changing predictions.
I'm rearranging my waters. I don't like seeing them isolated like that. Tony, what you cooking? 8 water
All right.
decks.
Oh, I wish, dude. Give me 3 purple.
Okay.
I'm staying with you guys on this one. Give me 3
Wow,
purple.
we're all the same.
Yeah. Give me 3 purple. And I'm going to make a new debut here, a new entry here. Give me a grass.
Okay. What type of grass are you thinking? Attacking, or are we going egg?
Egg mill.
All
For
right.
sure.
All right.
Listen, if you're playing against somebody and they flip over an egg mill adjacent card, you just know that they're an absolute grinder and they have played 1 million more games with that deck than you have with any other deck you've ever played.
That's facts.
So they know the matchup,
I respect
and one of them has to at this point.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
You're making me want to go back and put grass in my list, but
No.
too late.
No. Chill on that. All right. Now, I want a colorless deck, and I think this is going to be attacking colorless.
Yeah.
None of that control. Give me 1 fighting.
Okay.
And give me 1 dragon.
All 3 of us putting dragon on the board. Okay, some hope for dragon out there.
Listen, I think the dragon has I think there's 2 completely viable ways to play dragon right now, and I think they're actually both pretty good right now.
It's interesting to me that I'm the only one that put dark. You guys don't think dark can get in there?
No.
No, I think it could. There's only 8 spots though, and
And you had to have room for lightning.
yeah. I can't put dark in there. That's the lightning spot right there.
Let me rephrase what I said. I think a dark could make it. Genuinely, any of the types could make it.
For sure. Except fairy.
But except fairy. Honestly, if fairy makes it, then I'll take a year hiatus from GLC.
No one wants that.
Yeah,
if fairy makes it into top 8,
around.
if fairy makes it into top 8, I'll take a month off the podcast.
If there's 8 players in top 8, I'll take a month off the podcast.
Yeah, mark my words. Mark my words. Whatever happens next week, I'm taking a month off.
Okay, back on the dark. I'm not even convinced that dark has a good psychic matchup, and that's gotta be what the whole point of playing the deck is.
Yeah, but surely there's gonna be a dark that can sneak by. That's just my prediction. Obviously, I'm the only one that thinks that.
But you also gotta play against the fightings, and those probably number 1 and 2 most popular decks in the room. So it's
if John thinks lightning can get in, all right.
I would take lightning before I took dark.
Dude, lightning's gonna feast on the dark.
All right, to all you dark players out there, I have more respect for you than both.
When
of
I
these
get farmed by
guys.
the dark, then my career is genuinely over.
This is what I was one in was it my Garbodor deck? No, it was when I played Dusknor Glade for the set after joining together. So after Colorless was banned, I played Dusknor Glade. I was 1 win shy of top 8 again, and I was knocked out by Dylan's dark deck. I am so confident into that matchup. I was going weeks at a time at GLC at League Night, just never losing to dark with psychic, and of course when it mattered, Dylan just had the cards to get there at the time, and there's nothing I could have done about it. So that's just how it goes. That's how dark cooks you sometimes.
Sneaky Guzzlord turn.
Dude, Guzzlord gets in there. All right. Are we all locked in?
Yeah, we're sticking with that.
All right. We're all on the same train. 3 purples. Me and John think purple's taking it home. Tony on the water, the lone water. All 3 dragon decks represented. 3 fighting decks. Yeah. It's a good spread. It's going to be a close game.
1 lightning.
1 lightning. 1 dark, 1 grass. Those are the lone guys, the lone rangers. Yeah, so this will be interesting to see what actually happens. We'll revisit this on our next podcast to see who is victorious. obviously, if you guess the champion correctly, that's like a good amount of bonus points. We'll have to just kind of weigh it, see if anyone like kind of far and away gets it right or not. But yeah, comment below what you think your top 8 predictions are gonna be, or who you think, which one of us do you think is actually gonna be closest to correct. So yeah, those are our predictions for the top 8. Let's move on. We have a big tier list to get through, so that's going to take us to the last segment of the podcast, going over all the archetypes for the 3K. Built this tier list using trainerhill.com. Appreciate Trainer Hill for giving this resource out. Set up a ton of GLC archetypes, all the ones I could think of that might have a presence at this 3K. And we're going to be ranking them. We're going to discuss some types might have more discussion than others. And if I left out your favorite deck, I apologize, but it's probably not getting top 8. I'm just teasing. If I didn't include it here, it's probably because I'm just not as familiar with it. And like Tony said, any deck can win on any day. So if it's not on here, it's just more of a challenge to you, and I would be so excited to talk about that list next week. Yeah, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with let's start with some of these guys at the bottom. Let's go Hitmonbros. Not the most popular fighting deck in recent time, but there's got some loyalists out there. I wonder if it will act like, one of the questions is, will it actually, okay, so let's, some guideline for how we're going to tier this. Obviously, not every one of these archetypes will actually be present at the 3K, but just like we're going to rank them based on like how good of a play we think it would be to bring to the 3K, okay? And we've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and the F airy tier. We're all familiar with a lot of these archetypes. We're not going to go into lists really, as those can just have so much variance. But Hitmonbros with, obviously the Hitmon combo guys, and commonly seen with Team Rocket's Tyranitar, little spread package. What are you thinking? My early position for this would probably be C tier. I think a lot of decks have already teched for RDT, and that's probably a little bit better at dishing out, kind of a spread package.
Yeah, I think this is really playing into the exact techs that like decks have for like RDT, and like specifically like the bench barriers to like protect against like the likes of like Natu and like other stuff too. So don't I want to say I really want to save F for those really special stinkers. So I don't think it's quite there.
Yeah.
But I'll agree with you on C.
Yeah, pretty low, but there's worse. That's where we're gonna put it. Let's go with let's say Lazy Code. All right. Slacking Porygon Z colorless deck, one of Hunter's favorite pet decks. Got his badge with Lazy Code, obviously has what it takes to win some games. Obviously also not the most common, or what is considered the most powerful colorless deck. I think it's pretty strong. Like if you get like colorless sets up, it's got the early burst potential of Fan Rotom, and slacking ability locking could be very strong into those top tier psychic decks. I think unfortunately it just kind of gets destroyed by fighting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be like the issue for the majority of the colorless decks in general, is that they get destroyed by fighting, and fighting such a strong deck at the moment. But this one I feel like just kind of gets extra destroyed because it's not like that, classic colorless style that's like we're just going energy attack. Next turn I'm going Raihan energy attack. Next turn cram, and that in a format that's so fast now with all the fighting decks. I just don't know if you can play like the setup guys. And you're slacking, you're expecting that to get you a turn, and that guy's weak to fighting, and it just seems like a weaker version of a deck that probably isn't great in the first place.
Sure. So what are we feeling? I think it's above Hitmonbros.
I would for
But-
sure put it above
Yeah.
Hitmonbros.
Should we go
I,
B tier,
feels
or
like a
would we
B
just go
deck.
higher C tier?
I think
We
it's
need a-
teetering right on the edge.
Does this list need a D? Do we need like one more here?
I don't think I
we
can
do need
add
one
another.
more.
It doesn't let me add any.
Oh, okay.
But we can order them, so like obviously it can be higher up.
Sure.
In C
Yeah, put it
tier.
towards the top of C then, I think.
I think-
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I think. You don't think it can get above? All right. We'll leave it there for now. We can finagle if we end up wanting to switch.
If you had to
things
play
around.
Maybe-
one of these two decks, which one would you play?
I mean, obviously, lazy code.
Then
But
it's
no. My
justified.
point is, I might put it in like low B tier, but we can
Okay,
we
I
can
see
figure
what
that
you
out
mean.
as we go.
Yeah.
Size spread, something with like the Uxie to spread damage counters, Blacephalon on those turns. You could play the Azelf, you could play the Cophagregus, but something in Psychic that's doing more damage spreading than just Monkey Dory and Giratina. Where are we at with that?
Yeah. I think this is solely going to be dependent on where like Cresselia specifically falls in the psychic decks. If decks are running the Crest, if they're not, because like Crest just like just destroys the whole game plan for this deck.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not like they're going to be running it or not. I think it could be really strong because it's like psychics. All psychics like spread damage is damage counter, so it's getting around bench barriers, and the likes of that. So. I think it could be. It's really just like I just don't know. That's kind of one of the things I've been thinking about is Cresselia as like a counter to a lot of these decks going to be played. So it kind of has me torn on where to put it.
Yeah, I think if you as a Psychic player, playing a maybe more standard Monkey Dory deck or something like that, I think you could, if you're not prepared for it, you could definitely lose to the Psychic spread list if they get a quick start with the Uxie and stuff. That damage does stack up really fast. Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, I think it's really just dependent on where Cresselia falls. If people are playing that to counter it, but I'd go probably high B tier for this one.
Yeah, I'd say B or high B.
You think?
You think worse?
I think yeah, I'm like firmly in C tier for this deck. I think
Below these other guys?
Really?
I would put them below both of those. Yeah.
There's
Below
an interesting
Hitmonbros?
there's an interesting size spread package I've seen that you could play Garbodor size spread.
Yeah, I just think that like when you think of like what is this deck is this deck's like big like attacker is like Blacephalon, right? It's like you could also just play the Natu deck, which plays Blacephalon, and you could also just play the Natu in the blind side.
Well, obviously it's not into S tier like that deck will probably
Yeah,
be.
but like I think that's like so many of the best cards that you're not playing though. It's like
Sure, but is it better than
I could-
Hitmonbros and Lazy Code?
I don't think so, but
I don't. I think it's pretty solidly in B tier for me. If it was to go to C, it's definitely not worse than Hitmonbros. But I feel pretty confident about B,
All
like
right,
low B at the most.
we're going with the majority
I can
vote.
live. I
at
can live with
B.
a B tier.
All right,
Mhm.
everyone else.
Yeah,
The
it
other
can live in low B.
the other favorite Psychic spread deck, we got the Lost Zone Psychic deck. This deck I am not really a fan of at all. I think people love it, but it's its own fun mini game, but I just don't think it's got what it takes. I think especially in the current meta with Blacephalon, with Blindside, things like that, your guys are just so squishy and you take so long to get going, and then other Psychic decks are throwing Boulder at you, they're throwing Okidogi at you, these guys with high HP numbers, Snorlax, Guzzlord, so it's like Whale Lord. It's obviously some Lost Zone decks have things to deal with that. I just think it's kind of outclassed. I would put this Not in F tier, but I think this would be the lowest one so far.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way about this deck as I do, but just like the classic spread deck, I'm not moved by any. I'm not moved by any of the like non-lightning spread packages. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm good with it there.
All right. I'm going to jump more to some of these ones at the top row. Let's go Egg Mill. Controversial control deck. People hate playing against that for right reason. It locks you out. It's really strong. Torterra is super hard to deal with. And it loses to itself most of the time when it does lose. You can have some pretty bricky hands in my experience, but the power level is there. It could win games. It can beat Psychic. It can beat Fighting. It can beat Dragon. It's got the tools to beat them all. Question is, will it?
I don't know. Man, I've listened to you the past few weeks just like get beat up by this deck. And you're playing in a league that's not even playing a lot of the top decks right now. So it's just like it's hard to say that it's going to be a very good play. I think it could be a fine play, but like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a top 8 deck to me. That's why I didn't have it in my top 8.
But I
this
think
to me feels like a very safe A tier deck.
I was
think
gonna
that-
say that as well. I think it's up there. I think it
Yeah.
because like Tony said in the top 8 predictions, this is the deck that if you are playing it, you know it really well. You're prepared and you're like ready to roll. And a really experienced, fast Egg Mill player is really scary to go up against. And I think so like it's definitely not a pick for everyone, but for who it is a pick for, I would be scared to see it. So
yeah,
I was gonna say high B, so I think it would just move up to A.
Yeah, let's go.
I think in general you could. I don't think a control deck could ever be more than like an A level play. It just the way Pokemon is, depending on what the rest of the room is, and it's depending on those last like 5-6 cards that you decide to play. But I think out of all the control decks, this is probably the best one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Speaking of control, we've got the dark control deck Sable Lock, using Junk Hunt Sableye, Alolan Muck to discard items, looping all your most broken items and running your opponent out of resources, dropping down Lux Cape on your guys to tank hits, pick them back up because you're recovering Versus Seeker every turn. It's got tools. I'm not the most familiar with the deck myself. I have played a couple games with it. I've seen it perform decently online, usually from some of those Turbo Blaze guys. But I don't think it will probably even have much of a presence because, like, if Egg Mill is the best control deck, and players who play control will just hop between the different control archetypes, I doubt, a lot of people will just pick Egg Mill over Dark Control. Obviously, that's not a reason to not put it in a good tier if we think it's good, but it's under Egg Mill for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I haven't played too much with it either, but like my gut's saying like low B.
Yeah,
I've picked Dylan's brain a little bit with this deck, and the Dylan, a local at our league, picked his brain a little bit with it and played against it a couple times, and it seems like solid, but in terms of the control decks that are viable right now, I think it's definitely one of the weaker ones. I think I would put it like high C tier. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I might go C tier with this one as well. Like, I think it could sneak up to B, but I don't expect any really in the field much at all. And from there, I don't expect them to perform very well. Like, it just wouldn't be my recommendation to pick this deck, and this is a tier list based on what I think you should pick to bring. So, yeah, I think it might just not be the best currently. I think it's probably better than Hitmonbros.
I would agree.
Yeah.
but maybe under Sableye or under Lazy Code.
Lazy Code,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
All right. Now, how about we do Harambe, everyone's favorite colorless deck featuring Swellow, Ancient Trait Swellow, and Pelipper, and a bunch of the Hops package guys. Very, very strong deck. Obviously has a couple badges at FullGrip, or just one with Alex, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it's just the one.
But
Just one.
other people have been playing it. I've played it a couple times. Yeah, very strong deck. Has a lot of burst potential with that Swellow. I think we're probably looking at another 8. I don't know if I'd go S tier. Would either of you go S tier? Like top of the top?
No.
Like obviously it's not.
No,
No,
I'd take it. Yeah, middle A. Honestly, like
yeah.
Fighting is still a really tough matchup.
if it can't find its combo pieces, it's not going to succeed. And asking a deck like that to that, you got to think of the length of this tournament too. Like you're asking it to do that for 7 rounds. That's a lot. And like when Alex won with it at our league, it went 4-1. It wasn't even an undefeated deck. So
Yeah.
That's right.
That's asking a lot of a combo deck to do that.
That's right. But the
Yeah.
power is there. It's like just falling short of, glory maybe.
Yeah.
But I would not fault anyone for picking it. Like having those, having this quick pace, strong gusting options with the double could be very strong into what we expect to be some of those top decks. Yeah, but like I said, you kind of would be scared to see fighting. Like obviously you have tools to beat it, but you'd be scared to see it. Yeah, and you're really relying on some hot draws for a long tournament. But it could do it. It could do it. I think I'd put it under Eggmill though.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Respectable position. I think I'll say like any deck A tier or above is something we would probably say we would not be surprised to see in top 8 at the end of the day,
I think these are decks that we're like actively testing against.
Yeah.
Decks that we're actively talking about.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
If I'm seeing a colorless deck across from me, my guess would probably be it's the Harambe deck at first until I see otherwise.
Yeah.
It's a very strong deck. Yeah, we'll go A tier for that. Could definitely sneak its way to the top of the field. Now, how about Milo Pump? Another Turbo Blaze deck. Very strong. Won 3 weeks in a row at FullGrip that one time. It's got the Whale Lord, and it's got the Milotic to recover from the discard pile. And then you've got the Frostmoth engine as your only energy accelerator, but you play reversals and stuff to help with that. Just seeking out the cards you want when you want them from discard and deck with Milotic and Inteleon, and then just being as big as possible with the Whale Lord. Feels really strong. It's on my list of one of the best decks for the tournament. If I am being honest, I think it's an incredibly strong pick. And like Tony mentioned earlier, I think people respect water. People know water is really good, but it's not really a deck you're teching for, really. We're expecting to see a lot of psychic, maybe some fighting. Those are the matchups people are probably teching for, so some people might leave their whale counters at home, and Whale Lord's always scary. Are we thinking S or A?
Dare I say we have our first S tier deck here.
My big reservation with this deck is just like with all the damage pings and stuff flying around, just like the size of that little Phoebus. It's like not only early game, it's at a risk like trying to get it evolved and that sort of thing, but like when you're trying to reuse the Milotic, I just like that's my big deterrent for myself from that deck when considering plays is like is it's so easily just like picked off the board with the strength of some of these damage pings with the psychic deck. So that's my reservation for it. I think it's like for me it's very high A, but if it gets bumped up to S, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Well, maybe we should just do the S tier deck we keep mentioning, the Not Too Blind Side. I think we're probably all in consensus that is clearly an S tier deck right now. Like it's the talk of the town. It's Natu's being brought up as a potential ban. Hector won the last 3K with it. It's become very popular. This is an S tier deck. If I ever saw one right now, I would not.
Yeah.
Probably going to be the most popular archetype, I would say, of the psychic decks, which is also probably going to be the most played type on the day. And for good reason. The deck is just incredibly powerful. This includes, I didn't put the monkey in the icon, but this includes, Monkey Dory if you're playing it. This just any version of the deck where you have Giratina and Natu and Blindside. The winning combo right now. Any comments for that? Any disagreements?
No notes.
No disagreements at all.
No notes at all. Yeah.
Very clearly what is seemingly the best deck.
That's right. Yeah. And I think we can put that as our standard and will help us judge these other decks. So we've got a good spread of decks in the different tiers, and now we can base these other choices off of that. But back on Milo Pump, obviously, you bring up the Natu, Blindside, and Blacephalon as one of its potential weaknesses, and rightfully so, because that is like our S tier deck of choice right now. Does that matchup alone mean that, and is that matchup bad enough that Milo Pump is not also up there in S tier? Is it pushing it down to A tier? Like, are you scared enough of that matchup where you should maybe consider a little less picking it?
That's where I'm at. Like, that's why I think it's like very tippy top of A. Like, I don't think anything else in A that we're going to have on this list is going to surpass it. But for me, like, my reservations with the deck, that puts it in that tier. Like, again, if you guys both vote S, like, I think that's fine. That's justified. But like personal preference and reservations, they're keeping it a little lower than that for me.
I see it. I see it. Like,
to me,
you have to be smart with your Feebas for sure.
Yeah. To me, it just like it just feels like the second best deck to me. Like, I think it is just like the power level of recurring the resources with the Milotic is just so like insanely broken. Like, do you know like how many times I played against this deck and I just am forced to swing into this Wailord and with an unevolved Phoebus on the bench, and they go Melodic for Malo and Lana, and I just lose the game on the spot. Like, I was already a turn behind because they have a big Wailord, and now I'm 2 turns behind because they healed the hit off of it. It's like, I don't know. I just all the damage counter. That's like a very valid argument. It's like definitely the weakest point of the deck. But I don't know if it gets bad enough to where it's not an S tier deck to me.
I don't know if it's as bad as John's saying it is, because like early game, obviously the Monkey Dory Natu decks don't have 30 damage counters on the board, right? So if you can find your Feebas early, you have to utilize the Milotic before it becomes out of control. But with the Monkey Dory decks, they're usually not able to move 30 damage until they attack with Giratina, right? So that forces them to end their turn. You get a turn before they have a chance to actually move that damage over. So there's windows for you to play around the damage counters in a smart way to actually get use out of your Milotic. You probably only get to use them once, unless your opponent can't like establish damage on board, or you target that down with the whale, things like that. But I mean, I think the deck is scared of those things, but I think vice versa. I think Psychic is really scared of a whale that gets powered up quickly. I think that's one of the hardest things for current Psychic to deal with right now, because a lot of the Psychic decks aren't running Dusknoir, aren't running Wobbuffet, and if you're not Garbodor, you're not getting those. You're shutting off the abilities as often. So, I don't know. I think S tier. I'm convincing myself of S tier. John says
I
A
think
tier
I'm
still.
I'm not dying on the top of a hill. Like that's not what I'm just like me personally, like that's my personal tier list. And I think like we're pooling our opinions together and that's why it's important. Like I'm the one that's,
No, yeah,
sharing
yeah.
the downsides of
yeah.
this while like there are major upsides. Like, yeah, just getting the whale set up like quickly, like the psychic deck can really struggle to respond to that. And it's like if you just like a smart player, like you said, just getting the one use out of the Milotic and um and not using it later on, not putting their, Phoebus in a position where it could get knocked out. Like I think a smart player can do well with it into that matchup. So
S Tony.
I've been on the Milo pump train.
All right, we're going
that's fine.
S.
That's fine.
We're adding it there. I think it's one of the best decks right now for sure. And like we said, flies unteched for sometimes. Then let's jump down a little bit. Let's go Cursed Kiss. Kind of a more niche psychic pick with Togekiss and Dusknoir. Just trying to cheat prizes with the Togekiss, ruin your opponent's board with Dusknoir. You've got the Gallade in there as well. Low to the ground usually, only playing maybe just Xatu or just Malamar to make room for all the stage 2s. But, Iron Boulder's really good. Flipping coins, though. It's a gamble.
Good.
It's gotten top 8. Got top 8 before.
It has.
So it has the potential. And does telepath energy is a huge buff for it. Obviously, it's shown it can get top 8 before. Does that mean it deserves a spot in A tier? Or just by the sheer power of the other psychic decks, are we going to go B tier?
I think this might be my top of B tier deck. This might be the best B tier deck that you could bring to this tournament.
I'm at like with not a whole lot on the board right now to like kind of go off of. Like I think it's definitely like below Harambe, but I don't know like what else we're gonna have in B tier that it's gonna be above.
I mean,
like,
it's definitely above
I,
size spread, right?
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
definitely there now, but like yeah, I think I'm fine with top. I was thinking bottom of A, but I think top of B is probably more fitting for it.
Well,
It's like you got the dream of the 4 prize turn where you pop Dust Noir and then take a knockout and you flip double heads, but it's like that doesn't always happen. So
now imagine a world where you have Togekiss and you take a knockout with Natu. 3 prize turn? Anyone building that right now? What do you guys think? You think someone's cracking that?
We just called someone out. Bro. We just called a viewer out. They're like sweating now. They're like, oh, he's on. They're on to me.
I played Cursed Kiss on stream with Andrew before League Night the other night. It didn't have the blind sight in it, but it did have the ancient trait Natu, which you don't have a lot of ways to ping the bench, so that's why you're not really playing blindside. At least someone could crack it for sure, but when you have stuff like Dusknoir, you can place 13 damage counters on an Iron Boulder, take a knockout with Natu, flip for 3 prizes. So there's ways for Cursed Kiss to have some. It's got potential, but yeah, maybe like as it exists now, we need to see some creativity to push it higher. B tier is a solid, respectable choice. Could sneak up into A tier as we go on. We'll see. About Palafin Seismitoad, John, your favorite deck. You ever thought of bringing it?
Yeah, definitely. I've thought about it for a minute. I think it's not. It's like not for this. We've already talked about the Dimension Valley ban, and so like that's like it's when a deck has so many ways to like cheat energy and just basically have a stadium that says your Seismitoad's ability doesn't count. That seems like a struggle for the deck. Again, it is. I keep talking about psychic, but the field is not all psychic. So like it does have some like good matchups in the. I would like the Harambe deck and like things that don't have like that energy acceleration. So it could be a really good play, and it's not just the Seismitoad; it's the Palafin too. But then you're looking at like Milo Pump, and I'm like, man, the Wailord is something that the deck really struggles into. So it's like you're looking at issues with the top are S tier decks right there, and it really makes me hesitant to play the deck. So like specifically for playing it to this 3K, I'm putting it. I don't think it can even. I don't know if it can exist in A. I think
No.
I think I'm in B.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd pick Curse Kiss first. So I think it's got to
I think
go
I
under
would
Curse Kiss.
too.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd go above Psy Spread though.
I would.
100%.
The Seismitoad feels like it's always a card that we will, in the cycle of the 3Ks, always will mention. We'll always bring it up and be like, this could absolutely be a sneaky good play.
It needs the
But
right
then
moment. Yeah.
we always hit the wall, and it's like, yeah, but it's probably not the best play. We'll just put it back in the binder, and
It's
move on
just
to
so
the
hard.
next.
Like for me, it's just like I think Seismitoad's a cool guy. He's got a dope ability. For me, I mean, the fact that it has 170 HP is a huge detriment. So Iron Boulder just easily kind of
Yeah,
getting through it is like just feels bad. And two, it's like if you're gonna play water, I mean, you kind of got to play Wailord, right? So
there's better choices.
yeah, so it's kind of
Yeah.
tough. Like I think it's a cool water deck, and it's definitely not the worst. So it is better than some of these other ones. And like you said, can really snowball wins against some of the types that aren't swinging those 170 numbers for low costs.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a decent spot for it for now. How about our first dark deck? Well, we talked about Sableye, but attacking dark, turbo dark, Guzzlord Toxtricity, rising in popularity at FullGrip, as we said. Could be a lot of people's choice for the 3K, hoping to, hit some weakness on some psychic guys. I predicted one dark in top 8, and this would be the archetype, in my opinion, to do it. I might go low A tier for this one, in my opinion.
Might be the hottest take that might be the hottest take yet.
I don't think it's
I don't.
horrible.
I just don't think I could.
Ah,
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I've looked.
In a post double energies ban, I don't think that I could put this deck higher than B tier. I think it's like really safely B tier though. Like I think it's
It might
probably
be
a
the
decent
top of
play.
B tier right now for what we have.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I like it more than Curse Kiss.
Yeah, I agree.
But not
It's
more
real
than
close.
Harambe.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
Look at the
what,
other two decks we have in A tier. It's not on the. It's
I know.
not on
That's
the
why
tier.
I'm convincing myself to go below A tier now. When I look at decks that are not too blindside above it, when I look at Milo Pump, Harambe, and
Yeah.
Eggmill, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I think it is strong enough, to be someone's choice, and yeah. Any final comments on the Turbo Dark deck? I think it just, when it has it has it. Guzzlord is that guy. If they're not ready to respond, you best be worried.
Yep.
Could be a sneaky good play. Always a sneaky good play, honestly.
Another fan favorite deck, we got Drago Box. Turbo Basics Dragon. Some of the Turbo Blazers. I mean, it's in their name. Turbo Blaze named after the Reshiram ability in the Drago Box deck. Got the new Rayquaza from Ascended Heroes. We haven't seen that add a 3K just yet, so it could be new and improved Drago Box ready to make its debut, and it's top 8'd a couple. I don't know when the last time was. It has been, I think, maybe 2-3Ks since a Dragon deck top 8'd.
I can't remember.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, so it's gone down a little bit as fighting kind of took over as that top tier aggro deck. But is Rayquaza enough to revive it? And would it be a good choice for this 3K? What do you guys think?
I think with all of us having it as one of the top 8 decks, in my mind, I'm like, I think it's got to be up at A. And I'm trying to figure out, looking at the list right now, like what side of Harambe it goes on. It's just like they're both like pretty like fast, like aggressive early decks. Dragon, I think Drago Box a little bit like less likely to be like consistent in like the mid to late game. So it's just like, but like really strong, aggressive openings. Rayquaza being able to hit that 110 right away is just so incredibly strong. So it can just take a game on turn one with the right setup. So that's where I'm got. Yeah, right now like middle low A.
I think it's got to go below Turbo Dark, in my opinion.
That's a hot take.
I mean, I know
little
I'm the only
high.
one who put a Turbo Dark at top 8, but obviously I believe in Turbo Dark. And
I think John put it perfectly. I think I would go below Harambe, but definitely above Turbo Dark.
I'd go.
I could even be inclined to move Turbo Dark up to A tier. It's real. I
don't know. I don't know about
I
that.
think Drago Box is. I think Drago Box is like definitively better than Turbo Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you go up against Wailord, you go up against Egg Mill, and you're just.
Both decks lose to those decks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd feel the same way about Drago Box and Turbo Dark.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
at least Dark has something to do against Psychic, kind of. You think Dragon's better than Dark into Psychic?
I mean, Dragon could snipe all your little guys.
That's all right. It's
You can
true.
do that to both decks.
This is true. You could Lost Zone the Natu, take away the blindside play.
Your most efficient attacker in Dark just dies to a Raging Bolt coughing on it.
That's true. I mean, obviously, I think head to head, Dark versus Dragon. Dragon is winning that matchup for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll go low, kind of low A tier. We might have some A tier decks that I would put above it that we haven't talked about yet, but I think for now that's a good spot for it. How about Lo-Fi Water? Second place at the last 3K. Greninja, Misty Starmie, Vanguard Punch Palafin. Second place. Decklist error, didn't even get to use the Greninja line in top 8, yet still went on to get second place, beating Dylan Ryan's Dusknoir deck in top 4, losing to Hector's Psychic deck in the final.
I see the perfect spot for this deck. And it's right in between Palatoad and Psychic Spread in the B tier.
You think it's below Palatoad? This deck has a second place at a 3K. And you think it's below Palatoad?
Listen, what did I say earlier? I think that any deck on a good day can go there. And I think the deck is very cool, but I also think that there's 6 or 7, no pun intended, better decks already on the tier list than it. So.
Yeah, exactly 7. Right above Palatoad.
My question is like, what would this deck be doing into like the S tier decks that like Palatoad isn't? Like I just don't see where its strengths are.
Okay, so I have played this deck. I'm probably the only one of us that has spent any time with this deck.
You are.
And
you are. I've watched it. I played against it, but
I also this video never got made, but I recorded a best of 3 set with Dylan after the 3K. Me playing the water deck, him playing the Dwixty. I recorded the set and was like wanting to, show off the matchup again because that's what Dylan lost to in top 4, and make a video about it. The deck, the water deck was new and cool, and we were hoping for a Dylan win redemption for the FullGrip local, and I beat him in the best of 3 set.
Was it a 2-0?
It was a 2-0.
Oh my
gosh!
It was a 2-0. I had.
How did you do it?
I had a 3 prize turn against him with this deck. This deck can take multiple prizes with the Greninja, with the Inteleon. It's honestly got the tools to do it. Like, it's not the best water deck, of course, but it's got that's how it gets there in the first place. It's got the tools to do it. It's doing like just enough damage to knock out for low costs the attackers you need to. And it's I mean obviously I'm just arguing that it's above Palatoad basically.
Yeah, not Curse Kiss.
It's either to the left or right of Palatoad in my opinion.
I think it's better than
I
Palatoad.
can't be moved either way. That's up to you guys.
I don't care too much to fight it, and I haven't played the deck, so I'll defer to you.
Yeah.
It's, I think it's not popular anymore. I mean, just in our circles, like I don't see it talked about very much, but the people that built it, I think, they did a good job with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously played it to success at the last 3K. Might not be repeatable, but I think people don't know what it can do when it gets going, and there's some surprise factor it has with how much it can put out. Because like you don't expect much from it, and then all of a sudden they have quick shooting and Greninja down, and they're pinging whoever they want for 50 damage every turn, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait, I was not prepared for them to be doing this much. So that's kind of how it gets there. So, but I mean, maybe that surprise factor it had at the last 3K was a big part of its winning also. Like if you see this deck now, maybe you're a little more prepared for it. I think it's a good spot for it. How about any attacking grass deck? Mega Boom, Stage 1 grass with Cherim, Hoppip, Jumpluff, double hit grass falls into this category. I didn't divide all these archetypes because they're not, just overall, I feel like they're all kind of similar in power level. So I've looped them all up into one. Sorry for any of you guys who are major Jumpluff believers that I didn't put it in its own tier. It's got Force to Vitality. Not a lot new it's got the new Growth Energy from Perfect Order, so plus 20 HP to your Torterra or any of your other big guys. I don't think is the worst. This might be
before these last couple of weeks with Kai showing up and just putting in numbers with it, I think this would have felt like a pretty easy C tier, and maybe it still is like high C, but like it has me wanting to bump it up to B.
I could definitely get down with that. I think it, like, when I first got into GLC, Mega Boom was like, felt like it was one of like, when the deck works, it's like it's got one of the highest like power outputs in the whole game, and I think the rest of the format has kind of scaled since that time has passed. But like you can't deny its power. But yeah, I think
I can deny its power.
You were just glazing the hell out of that deck.
I know. Well, because I have a special place. That's one of my favorite decks from back in the early GLC days.
So let's throw it in low B tier. I think
maybe high C. I think it might be below Lazy Code. I'd rather play Lazy Code.
I would put it above Lazy Code. I would rather play Mega Boom than Lazy Code.
John, tiebreaker.
It's really just like fighting, keeping the Lazy Code down there, which is tough. And I feel like Grass just doesn't have the matchup. Like I think it goes.
Do we need to move Lazy Code up?
Low. Dude, I think I mentioned, I think I'm kind of down on like the fighting numbers. I don't think the fighting numbers are going to be as high, and it could. So I think like Lazy Code up it, and then attacking grass below it in B makes sense to me.
Do we go bottom of B tier for Lazy Code or above any of these? Maybe bottom.
Put it above Psychic Spread.
Above Psychic Spread.
All right.
And
throw Psychic Spread in C tier, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Psychic Spread getting demoted.
Yeah, it keeps getting bumped down.
Let's swap those two. And because of that, let's do Grass bottom of B.
Honestly, throw Grass right behind Lazy Code. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that Psy Spread was just going to keep getting bumped down for the whole video.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's a fair spot for it to be at right there. Psychic is either S tier or C tier.
That's actually true.
Oh man, how about let's get a lightning deck on there. We got the lightning spread deck, or I put slash bombs. I know the bombs lightning deck with like blowing up Electrode and Magneton is kind of popular, but they're doing a similar spread strategy usually. So John put it at top 8. John, is it going in A tier?
I think it's squeaking into top 8. I think one's going to have some good matchups. All right, you see at the regionals, they have the caster picks for like the best cards. Not every caster is putting like the S tier cards. I think Azul at one of the last regionals put like Boss's Orders and Pheasantipity.
That was so funny.
So, like,
that was so funny.
And it's funny, but it's not interesting if everybody did that. So like that's
Guzman
like my
versus
like Lightning Spread's like my wild card. Being my wild card, it's not like one of the best decks still. Like I think it can probably fall somewhere in B.
It's got to go
I think it
B.
can fall
Yeah.
somewhere in B. Yeah, I think it'd
so
be B.
let's ignore fighting for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
If we ignore how good fighting is, this deck is probably like really high A tier.
No, it's not. All
However,
the psychic decks.
yes, it is.
Manaphy. Milo Pump's playing Manaphy and Rough Seas. Natu Blindside is playing usually a Bench Barrier or Cresselia plus Monkey Dory. This deck has no chance against either of those.
Manaphy and Rough Seas doesn't matter as much if I'm just like one-shotting
No,
the
no,
Whale
no.
Lord.
The
No,
deck-
it does
the deck
matter
is
when
weak.
you one-shot the
The
Whale
deck
Lord,
is
but I
weak to
take you out with
lightning.
anyone else, and I'm Hex
The deck is
It
Maniac.
weak to
matters. I'm just saying it
and
doesn't
the
matter
play
as
style
much.
lag.
Like when you can take out the guy, when you can one-shot the Whale, that's something there.
It's not nearly
Yeah.
enough.
I think this is low B tier.
Agreed.
Yeah, low
So
B's
this
fine.
This is probably our last in B tier.
I could go just
Whoa,
for
whoa,
John's
whoa.
sake. I could go up by Cursed Kiss, but I would
Now you
go.
can go lower. You can go lower.
I think it
above
should be.
above Lazy Code. Yeah, that seems
I think
good.
it should. No. Throw it right in the middle.
Okay, what's John's take? Above or below Lazy Code for both of you? What do you got?
Above Lazy Code.
Below.
I'm going below. Tiebreaker.
All right, sure. Oh my gosh.
I don't think it's as good as John thinks it is for some reason.
Lazy Code moving up. Oh my god.
My goat.
Listen.
Shout out.
All right,
Hunter's
listen,
gonna start.
Lo-Fi Water.
Hunter's
I was
gonna
gonna say,
start this
Lo-Fi Water,
podcast.
The second place deck we have in B tier, 2 spots away from this deck. So I'm not crazy for saying this thing can be in top 8.
Listen,
No,
we
I
have a
mean
little bit of
anything can
breaking
squeak
news.
in. Anything can squeak
Yeah.
in.
I'm just clicking in the Discord right now. Hunter just won an online tournament with Lazy Code right now.
He won?
Like, literally right now. Literally right now.
No way.
Yes.
He won.
So
He is its
He
biggest
won.
glazer. I was like, I don't know what to
Alright.
play
Yes,
anymore.
he
On
is.
Thursday, I was like, I don't know what to play anymore. He's like, Lazy Code. Like right
that's what
away.
he tells me every time. I go up to Alex Carpenter for a deck, and I'm like, "You just hand me a deck, and I'll play it this week." And Hunter's always there for some reason. He's like, "I get you Lazy Code," and I'm like, "What the heck, bro?"
All right. In honor of the Hunter win, I say live update. We bump Lazy Code above Palatine.
Okay.
I'm
Just
going
one.
above Lo-Fi Water. He just won the online
Okay.
tournament.
All right. That's fine.
Lazy Code has gone way too far up. Right now.
Started
Lazy Code was in C tier 10
the
minutes.
biggest
going to
glow
start
up
a
ever is
dialogue.
Lazy Code. Shout out Hunter, man. He's gonna start the podcast and he's gonna have 3 comments before we even move it up, and he's gonna be like, "You guys are so underrating this." He's gonna be like a keyboard warrior and then we're gonna move it up to high B tier, and he's gonna be like, "Never mind, thank you guys. You guys are the best." Oh man. Okay. What were we talking about besides Lazy Code though?
Lightning spread and it being
Yeah, I think we just
bad.
placed it, so I think we can.
All
move
right,
on.
we're
Unless you
good
guys
there.
have something else to say about it.
That bottom
Let's
tier
get-
is
let's
looking
get
a
one
little
of-
blank.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Yeah,
do
get it in there. It's
Well, I don't
in the
know why.
name.
It's been too late.
Any fairy deck is the one I chose. Obviously, there's some believers in there for fairy control. I didn't give it its own box. I don't think anyone's gonna play it, and if they do, good luck. It's going in the F tier.
Yeah.
No
Agreed.
comment there. How
Let's
about
hit a metal deck.
Yeah, let's do a metal. We don't have a metal up there. Let's go turbo metal, something similar to what John's been playing. No Matang, just the Bronzong, probably Rev of Room, and maybe a bunch of basic attackers. Yeah, John, I mean, you've been playing it the most recently, so, I mean, I would value your opinion a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the spot in B tier. It's good. It's like
B tier.
Yeah.
I don't value
Yeah.
your opinion that much.
well, you got hold on. You're hovering bottom of C, and that's
Well, I'm just
striking
hovering
to
onto the
me.
side so people can read it. I'm not saying it's
Okay,
bottom
alright.
of C.
I think right in between Lo-Fi Water and Palatoad is where I would put it.
Paltoad keeps getting disrespected.
Yeah.
Palatoad, dude, Seismitoad is broken. Yeah, put it under Palatoad for sure.
I don't know. It might be better than
I don't
Paltoad.
know, Zamazenta's broken. Zamazenta's kind of broken.
Zamazenta is so good. It's like I keep preaching Zamazenta like it's one of the guys that can one-shot the Wailord, and that's huge.
Every
That's something there. So I'd put it. I It's just turbo metal, so just like any version. Is this including like the? Do we have one for the Orthworm
We do have
separate?
one for the
Yeah.
Orthworm.
Okay, I think this is. I mean, this is. It's like middle of B. I don't know exactly. This is getting hot. I thought this was going to get easier as we got more decks on this, but it's getting harder now because we're like ranking these individually. I think right there where you got it. I think it's above Palatoad, not quite at the
Boom.
lo-fi water.
Yeah, and you have like some tools to do. You can play Crystal Cave, you can play HP buff stuff. It's just like me and Andrew were saying. He was playing Metal on our stream this past week, and we were saying it's kind of just like one of the last remaining like decent, honest decks out there. Like if you look at all the decks above it, they've got some like really tricky stuff to them that are like, pushing the boundaries of strength. Milo Pump with Whale Lord and the recovery options of Milotic, Blindside Natu to take extra prizes. Same goes for all these, maybe except Dragobox is the only other honest deck. That's why it's like, a really strong turbo basic option.
If I wanted to teach somebody GLC, I think I would hand them a metal deck.
That's
It's just like the most straight. It's like the most straight up. Like you got like 3 dudes that do an ability, and then you got like 3 dudes that attack. It's like
smack dab middle of the middle tier feels right.
That's a good point. Yeah, we'll keep it there. But you brought up Earthworm Metal, so let's go with that. It got top 8 with Consiglio on a previous 3K. I have never seen it in action myself. Well, actually, Alex played it a little bit, and I don't think he did too hot with it. Maybe got one top 4 at the locals with it. Not a very common pick for people, but we think better. At least, let's compare it to at least the Turbo Metal deck. We think got top 8 is Is this a better metal deck?
I just don't know why I'd wait. Like the Earthworm's cool, but I don't know why I'd want to wait until I have like no cards in my deck to be able to hit those numbers. Like not being able to deal with an early Wailord in the Milo Pump deck seems
still plays
problematic to me.
It still plays Zamazenta.
It still got the Zamazenta, yeah.
Like you've got stuff.
It's got the it's still got the Berserker and stuff. So
yeah, it's got the tools. I think I remember when the 3K happened. I remember Consiglio. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. I'll just count Sligu on Discord. I think I remember him saying like it's just an extremely high roll deck, and that's how he got into top 8. I remember him saying, he was just rolling hot, hitting good matchups, just ran his way into top 8, and that can happen. Doesn't mean it's the best deck ever, and I think he acknowledges that. It's just like one of his favorite decks, and he was just, rolling. So I think, Turbo Metal is like more, I think based on like our ranking of what to pick for the 3K, I think Orthworm's a riskier pick, therefore I'd put it below Turbo Metal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this deck could go like top of C tier, near the top of C tier.
Yeah, apologies to Count Sligu if that's disrespectful.
No, it's nothing.
We just don't know. We don't know the sauce,
right.
Yeah.
I played against him he played it in the no bans tournament.
Oh, that's right.
I played against him, and so it's not really a fair assessment of the deck when I'm playing a broken banned deck.
Yeah,
playing 3 double energies and a Lysander's trump card.
Yeah. Sure.
Literally. Let's just wrap up the metal decks. We've got Matang Metal, maybe with some more evolution guys. Archaludon. Some decks play Metagross, but some extra energy acceleration options. Maybe not the Heatran and Fire package. Andrew's been cooking a little bit with it. He's liking it. He's building it. Where do you fall on it right now, John?
It's really hard to fit. I feel like the Berserker's so good and so important for to hit the numbers, and like I was trying to fit it in a Matang style list, but like there's just not room to do it. And so that's not like the whole, I don't want to sum the deck up to hold it. Oh, it can't fit Berserker, but like the Archaludon walls a lot with walling the basics. It walls just a lot of decks. Like I just don't even know like how does Dragobox or I can see now too like a lot of psychic decks just with their basic attackers really struggling into fighting RDT, like that's just like a really big struggle. So like it has a tool in it that like really in that Archaludon that really walls out a lot of decks. So but I think, you know, in the matchups where that there are tool decks that do have tools that can deal with it, it's just like a little worse style of metal deck. So it's like a little bit more, maybe not like risky like the Earthworm is, but a little bit more polarizing than Turbo Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would slot this like literally directly next to Turbo Metal. I think that it depends on which way you want to play, but I think both are really similar in power level.
Yeah, I agree. I think I might put it above just because it does have that trickiness factor of like the coded
Yeah.
attack Archaludon. You could, you know, to beat the types above it, you might need a little bit of trickiness. And
Yeah.
so
Now that I think about the Archaludon, I would maybe bump it up, like maybe above Lazy Code, below Curse Kiss.
above Lazy Code.
I'm sorry, Hunter.
Lazy Code's just getting bopped around this whole episode.
Yeah, definitely somewhere around that middle of the B tier though.
Yeah, I'm debating above or below Lazy Code. Maybe below.
Yeah,
John,
I could be down with that.
I go above, honestly, not to be contrarian, but
I mean,
I'm not.
I originally said above as well.
All right, yeah, we'll go
Okay.
above. We'll go above.
Okay.
Respectable. Let's go Fire Mill. Do we have our second F tier?
Yeah, I can't make an argument. I want to.
F is for fun, and this is a really fun deck as well. But would I bring it to a 3K? Probably not. Any comment? Above Fairy, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get the other mill deck too.
All right, let's hit Watermill as well. I think a vastly superior.
This
mill
is definitely
deck.
the better mill deck.
Yeah. So that's a top.
It might be better, in my opinion. I think it's better than Lost Zone.
Lost Zone?
I think it's better than Lost Zone.
I don't think you could do that. No,
There's
it's gotta be
no
below
way.
Lost Zone. I just don't know if is this the tippy top of F or is it bottom of C?
I think it's the tippy top of F.
I think that's where I was going. Tippy top of F.
Dang. Yeah, it's all coin. It's 100% just relying on coin flips. It's a gambling deck.
Yeah. Best of the worst.
It's got to be it's got to be fun tier. Yeah. If you're playing this to the 3K, you're probably not hoping to win.
Yeah.
You're hoping to have a good time, which is fine. It is a very fun deck. All right. Third mill deck, Drill Mill. Now this one actually is maybe a little more serious, and it has been played. JD played it at the last 3K and did pretty good. No, I think SBO's been only played Egg Mill. He played a Lightning Control. This is SBO's build, but I don't think
I've seen SBO play in a webcam tournament.
Yeah, he's been playing it on webcam. He's beat. I lost to Count Sligoo playing this deck one time on a webcam tournament. Like, it's got legs.
I've also lost to Count Sligoo playing this deck.
It's got legs. Like, it's actually kind of scary.
I think that it's like not significantly worse than Egg Mill is.
I agree, but I don't think I'd put it in the same tier. But it's probably
not in the same tier.
It's probably higher B tier. But it's such a niche pick, you know. It's like it's hard to place it.
It is a really niche
really
pick.
Weird.
In terms of like loop decks, though, I think that this deck has the best loop.
I could go top of B for this one.
I think that's how I feel as well. I think this is the second best control deck.
Better than Dark. Like Dark is the way. I don't know if is it better than Dark, Turbo Dark.
Again, it's like one of those things where like if you're playing this, like you're gonna be probably really good
what you're
with
doing.
And
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I sit across from this,
I'd much rather play against Dark. I'd much rather play against Dark.
Much rather play against Turbo Dark, and that's it. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Even if I'm playing Psychic, I would much rather play against Turbo Dark. Much rather.
Yeah, I think it is a strong pick. It could get in. I could see it getting a top 8 spot if SBO shows up and plays this. He's really good with it. You know, outside of him and JD, they might be the only two that would play it. But They're both good players, and it can. If so many players like that. The thing is, like, it's also so good is because so many people have never played against it, and like
Yep,
that's one of the hardest parts about playing control in the first place is also lack of experience. So, uh, it's not. I don't think it's a bad pick at all.
I agree.
But good spot there. How about Hydro Pump? Just pure, honest Hydro Pump. The classic, the Trevor Redding classic. Wailord, Baxcalibur, Frostmoth.
I was just looking at that, and I feel like I was trying to figure out in I like it's like it again. It's just it's got Wailord in it. I think Milopump is definitely a better deck at just getting the Wailord set up, keeping the Wailord alive, which is really the dream in water. So, and I think it probably puts it like a tier below that in my
Yeah,
mind, but like not any lower than that. I think it right, like I think it beats out Drago Box and
Agreed.
but not Harambe. I think
I think that's exactly the same spot I was thinking.
yeah.
I think I would put this. I would definitely. You guys have majority rule, but just to mention my own take on it, I think this is probably the. I would put this top of A tier. I put this above Harambe and Eggmill.
I see an argument for that as well. I do see an argument for that. And
I think
I
that
wouldn't be unhappy. It's very strong. It's gotten to,
yeah,
it's proven itself over the course of multiple 3Ks. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a threat. It's a big threat. Yeah, I do think Harambe will be more popular of a pick, in my opinion, than straight Hydro Pump.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, even that, you never know because so many
just
people
I think
play.
they're very similar.
Yeah,
Very similar counts. I feel like would be in the field.
yeah,
I can go above Harambe. I don't think I'd go above Egg Mill though. Again, it's like we keep bringing up this argument that like these mill players like that this is their practice deck. They know what they're doing. And so if we're talking about specific players like bringing these decks that like not just like any Joe Schmo bringing a deck, like if you're deciding what to bring versus like what someone who mains Egg Mill decides to bring, like that's why I think I have it above Hydro Pump.
yeah. All right. I think that's a good
I
spot.
I, I can live with that spot.
That's
Yeah.
a good spot. I like the control decks being at the top of at least for now where we have them.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this. Have not mentioned RDT, past 3K winner, the premier way to play fighting since it's big buff in the Mega Evolution set and continues to win at FullGrip to this day. So it's got to be in the conversation of S and A tier, in my opinion. But good enough to go S in this current meta with Psychic, and I don't know. It's tough to say.
I think it's like I wish we could make another tier and just have it right in between S and A tier.
Just its
'Cause I
own
feel like
RDT tier.
it's just the RDT tier. I feel like it's really like that like close.
Yeah, I
I
think it
just
pushes Eggmill down for sure. Like I think it's at the tippy
yeah, I
top
think
there.
probably top of A tier is what I would put it as. It
Yeah,
just feels like
it's just a little
ever
scary.
since
I don't think we can put it S because it's a little scary of a pick. Like you have to be so confident to pick it right now. I think
I think so.
the Psychic matchup is still kind of hard.
I think
And
it ever since Cresselia started being played, I feel like it doesn't have a psychic matchup.
yeah, but like, are people going to be playing Cresselia? That's a big question. So
That is a big question, and like how many people are going to be playing RDT versus how many people are going to be playing new Barbaracle or T Rex stuff or
yeah,
um, I don't know. It's just like to me, Cresselia is just like a very comfortable card to slot into a psychic deck, um, and I think that it is also just a good card to have in general right
yeah,
now.
it beats some of those
Um,
fringe
yes.
spread decks while also hitting the popular RDT matchup. So yeah,
Yeah.
Cresselia is kind of like a toss up right now.
It's so close to being in the S tier though. It's so close.
It's really good still.
Yeah.
You're just kind of scared of. I mean, you're mostly just kind of scared of Psychic, which unfortunately is the most popular type. I mean, you're scared of control, but everyone's scared of control.
I mean, yeah, look at FullGrip these past 3 weeks where Psychic has vacated. It's like what has won?
RDT. Yeah.
Yeah, I could easily make a run with maybe hitting fewer Psychic decks in the field. Having a nice matchup spread. It's a great deck. Top of A, I think, is a good spot. How about Ursaluna Control? It was very prevalent a couple 3Ks ago, like last summer, and then we haven't really seen it since. And I think a big reason for that is the RDT deck.
Yeah, for sure.
100% that it just kind of gets destroyed by RDT, at least in the way it's been built. So if we're expecting lower RDT numbers, Ursaluna Control could sneak in, but then it's like, do you really want to risk it? That makes it kind of a tough thing to pick. Like, it's very much like it feels like an insta loss kind of situation where, and you hate to see that with a deck that might be popular.
I think where you're hovering right now is like like bottom B tier.
Yeah,
because
I'd go over Lightning Spread.
Yeah, it feels like in a very similar spot to Lightning Spread, honestly.
Yeah, it's just 100%. Like all the decks that take a fighting weakness. It's like you don't have a fighting matchup, but your deck is probably still pretty good into the rest of the field. So.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, while we're on the topic, there's another colorless control deck I have here, Stoutland Control. Not as widely known, but I know SPO, again, Control Meister has been cooking it up, played it at a couple webcam tournaments. Stoutland, if you don't know, has an ability that when it's active, your opponent cannot play supporters. So it does that, and it has one of its previous evolutions has a retreat lock attack as well, so you can retreat lock the active with your attack while your ability also shuts off supporters, and that's like one part of the control. And then you have Bunnelby, Belelba, Bryson Man to also have like this mill package. And if it gets you in the right position, it's a pretty strong lock, similar to Egg Mill. But again, I don't have that much experience with it. So I'm tempted to kind of just put it right around Ursaluna Control, probably above because it's a little trickier, in my opinion.
With the trickiness, I'd almost this is going to be airing a week out from it. It's like if you're thinking of a deck to consider for the event, it's like picking up this deck would definitely be something I wouldn't recommend. But like if you're SBO, I don't think I've ever seen anyone play this deck.
I've seen him play it. Like I watched like half of a Cardboard Warriors game.
Yeah, I think that this deck is just like the least proven control deck.
Yeah, it's kind of like potential.
Yeah,
I makes me want to put it lower. Then it makes me want to go more like bottom of B. Like
all right,
bottom of B. Yeah, probably bottom.
I think that maybe we disrespected Sableye a little bit too hard too, and maybe that should be thrown around there too.
Yeah, we could go Sableye bottom of B.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, could be proven wrong. That those kind of fall under the could go either way category.
Yeah.
New fighting, briefly mentioned, Barbarical, Tyrantrum. Obviously, doesn't have to include both of those guys, but some combination, a deck that includes either or both. Barbarical, Tyrantrum. Each have pretty strong power in their own right. Tyrantrum having such high HP, getting up to 300 when it's fully powered up, also not weak to Psychic, is huge. But it is a fossil. And Barbarical kind of works counterintuitively with the the draw engine of Lunatone, putting the energy in the discard, but then you want the energy in hand to attach with Barbarical. So this is another like unknown, like it's going to require someone to chef it up. But the potential, similar to what we were saying about Stoutland, the potential is really there, I think, to have a presence. And if, some really great minds are cooking with this, could have a good run, but it's not really something you can just pick up unless you're chefing it pretty hard.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in terms of where it should go on the list, probably like I was gonna say right in the middle of B tier just because it's such an unknown quantity,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of inclined to move it a little bit up just because it's fighting.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
should
point.
probably respect
Yeah.
the
It's like you're
power
gonna
level
have
of the
rocks
type.
and Okie Dokie in the list as well, likely, and that
Yeah,
just feels like it's
That's a good
it's gotta
recipe.
warrant it being a little higher.
That's a good
yeah.
recipe.
Yeah.
I'd go
I would maybe
maybe
go. I
Curse
go maybe
Kiss.
below Curse Kiss, above Matang. Maybe even below Matang.
Mm,
I think right there is
I
actually a
think
good
right
spot. I
here is
think
good. The
above
power is
Matang, below
there.
Curse
Like the
Kiss.
power is there. You just got a lot of strong guys. So I am excited to see what people cook up for this, and I hope it does
Yeah.
well. But again, remains to be seen. Coming down to the final stretch of decks here, we've got Hops Diggersby. My man Diggersby getting in there.
This is my deck, bro.
He swings for, if you don't know, new Diggersby evolves from Bunnelby, swings for 140 damage for only 1 energy at the cost of doing 30 damage to all of your bench, which, you can play text to prevent knocking yourself out. You've got Picnic Basket, you've got the Mountain Ring Stadium, I believe it's called, which prevents bench damage if it's in play. So you got ways around it. You also can just be like, I'm gonna go super fast and also be careful enough to knock out my own guys and just outpace some of the aggro stuff, when maybe throw a crisis punch in there for my Bunnelby since he's in the deck. I think it's this might be a C tier deck if I'm being honest.
You think so? I was
don't know.
gonna say the same thing. I was gonna go middle B tier, but since it's colorless and not
Nah,
fighting, I would throw it to the right. I would throw it a little bit lower.
Yeah, maybe right here, below Paltoad, above Ursaluna.
Yeah. What do you think,
dude,
John?
this thing's gonna melt to an RDT. Holy
It
cow.
melts to an RDT, and then if the damage on your own board sticks, it's gonna melt to a Blacephalon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the,
maybe it does need to go lower actually.
I just yeah.
you hit your own bench one time, you hit your Squove at one time, and they Monkey Dory right over it to knock it out.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Sable Lock than this. I want to push this lower. Like
That's
the
why I'm
more we
saying
talk
C.
about
That's why
it,
I'm saying
like,
C.
All right, see, it can go top of. Give me top of C tier.
Give me top of C. Respect.
Sure.
I love. I think it's so fun though. I still might play it at League. I think the Diggersby is so
Yeah,
sick.
I think I'm gonna play it at League, to be honest.
All right. How about Dogi Loop, which is avoiding the spread package of RDT, getting around, you're avoiding playing into the tech options of, the types that are expecting Ting Lu, and maybe saying Garganackle is a better energy accelerator than These names are too similar. Garganackle might be a better energy accelerator for fighting despite being a stage 2 because it works from the discard pile, very synergistic with the Lunatone engine, as well as healing some damage. You never hate to see that. So where would you guys fall on this one? I don't think it's bad. It's probably similar to what we were saying about the new fighting deck. It's like maybe a little higher on the B tier.
I go a little higher than the new fighting deck. I think the strength of this deck really comes through in the I think you have such a better psychic matchup than the RDT. I played into this in the last 3K with psychic and it was so much scarier. Just like if they get that Garganackle set up, and because you just want to swing with resistance, Okie Dogies hitting that 140 to knock out like Boulder and pretty much like anything every single turn. If you can get ahead in the prize race and just like loop this thing, it's and so it being that good into the deck that we feel like is S tier and going to be like one of the most widely played decks, I rate it pretty highly.
Yeah, I
Even
think
though,
right here below Turbo Dark, maybe.
yeah,
What were you gonna
I'm
say?
I
with
think
you.
even though Okidogi is like, some people may like shudder at the thought of like this having a better psychic matchup when you're just trying to attack with Okidogi over and over again, but Okidogi is like actually your deck's most efficient attacker. It's like the easiest thing to get powered up. It's the easiest thing to shove into the active. So that's why it just takes like a better psychic matchup, because you're not doing any of the spread shenanigans. You can't get like you're just a lot less vulnerable. Your board is a lot less vulnerable. It feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think B tier is an appropriate spot. Obviously, not reaching the highs of RDT, but still a very solid deck. Would we go maybe over Turbo Dark?
Yeah, I could go either
Um,
or. I think you have it in a good spot.
Yeah, I'd say under's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Above Cursed Kiss.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, it feels good.
Agreed. Let's do the FGG special Garbo box. Tricky Jim's favorite deck. Psychic ability lock with Garbodor. I think gotta be up in A and or S.
It's right there in the
I'm
RDT
split.
conversation. I think.
Yeah, it's it feels like it is an RDT tier.
Yeah, it is it is literally teetering. Balance. It could be A
I
tier.
think
Could
it's
be
a
S
safer
tier,
pick than RDT, so I would put it above RDT. Like if I'm picking a deck for the weekend, I think it's
I'm gonna
safer.
push S. I'm gonna push for S.
He's
for this
pushing for
one.
S.
I think bottom of S.
I could agree. Yeah, I could agree for sure.
And yeah, it does make sense
I
to
feel
have.
good about that.
Does make sense to have another psychic deck up in S tier. It's that psychic
Yeah.
is so good. Telepathic with the Garbodor is just crazy. If you put in
It is.
some of those Goose Hollow or Chorus Tenacity to help that setup. You just want to see your evolving guys early, and Telepath is just such a huge buff. So and it has the benefit of being fairly strong into the S tier decks. Like ability lock is still really good. It can take games. Obviously not too blindside. I think overall it has a higher power level, so it's definitely not overtaking that slot.
It never feels. I haven't played this deck too much, but like playing against this deck, it just never feels like it's out of the game. You've always got setup garb, throw a Lux Cape on something, start swinging, and that can just like end up winning you the game with some disruption or something like that. So
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm happy to
Yeah, I
go
could see.
above or below Milo.
I think bottom feels.
I think bottom.
Good.
Yeah, so strong, so strong. Has some maybe consistency issues that you could run into, but when it sticks, it hits so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it there. We're glazing the FGG the FGG special.
Oh, what's new?
Yeah, what's new? Bootlickers.
Your proximity to Andrew Mahone is showing.
Oh man, it is fun. It's a fun deck to play, man. It's good. It's fun to ability lock. What can I say? It's strong. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it at S tier. Bottom of S tier.
Feels right.
Yeah.
No Sauce Psychic, the Ben Morsch special. I got top 8 with this at the last 3K, and then promptly folded to Hector's Sauce full Psychic deck with the Natu. What can I say? Gallade, Zatu, Malamar is just a winning combo.
We thought we cooked with the no gimmick psychic.
I mean, I did cook a little.
You did make
I
top
won.
8.
I mean, I got up there, but yeah, I was proven that it wasn't the strongest.
I once again went 5-2 with it. I think it's better than RDT.
Yeah.
I think it's not just because it beats RDT, but like I think that's where it's at. It's not an S tier for sure. You need psychic. You need some gimmick. You need like something in the deck that allows you to come back into the game. And this it's got a lot of room to work with, like in the list. If you're not playing any of that stuff, you can play like some like e-hammers and counter catchers and like whatever tech you feel like you want to like. If you feel like what the room's going to be and like what cards to put into tech, like you could go well with this. But if psychic just needs something, and if you know exactly where to pinpoint it, you could slot it into like a no extra sauce list and do well with it.
Yeah,
this is like really safely top of 8 tier. I think.
I think so. Like I think in the head to head, I think RDT on paper is a better deck than this, but
okay, then maybe it's not at the top.
Well, no, I was gonna say like I still think I'd encourage people to pick this over RGD. I think it's a little safer of a pick, like RDT kind of needs things to go right into those top tier matchups,
Okay.
and might have a higher burst power level, but
Okay, I
if
can
you're a
see
good
that.
psychic player, you don't need the sauce, and sometimes things can go your way. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
right under RDT.
I think it's better. I think it's.
But we have
It's
okay.
really
We haven't
close.
mentioned the Dwixty yet, Gallade Dusknoir.
Okay, well, I think that will be at the top of A tier for sure.
Yeah, so if
I think
that's gonna
that
go
deck's
top
better
of
than
A
this
tier,
deck.
I'm tempted to put this one right below RDT. To be
Put
honest,
one under, one above.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's very
All
fair.
right.
Yeah, so Gallade Dusknoir, pretty much straight psychic, no sauce psychic with just a little bit of sauce in the Dusknoir. So good at board control, but maybe lacks a little consistency because you got to fit in the Dusknoir itself. But I mean, the Not Too Blindside's running a bunch of cards that don't help early game either, with the Blindside and the timepiece and stuff. So what's different
it feels
between that
the
and
Garbodor deck?
Yeah.
The Garbodor deck is running all of the cards that help with the early game. It's like
I mean, you're running. I mean, Garbodor. The argument there is you just run. You might have a handful of tools at the beginning of the game, and that doesn't feel good. So like every deck has its.
You have to play every consistency.
Yeah, every deck has its cards that it doesn't want to see early game, and Dusknoir has such a high benefit, but I don't think it's reaching the S tier. But yeah, top of A tier. It's still so strong.
Yeah, I agree.
Wo-Chien grass. This is I did differentiate this one grass archetype because it is pretty different than the other attacking grasses. I think it's probably better than the other attacking grasses.
I think it absolutely. I think this is an A tier deck, bro.
It's not better than Drill Mill and
No,
Turbo Dark, bro. It's
no.
not better than those.
I think it's absolutely better than Turbo Dark.
It's not better than
know if
Dogi
better
Loop.
than-
It's
is it
not
better
better
than
than Cursed Kiss.
Hang Metal?
It's not better than
I
New
think so.
Fighting.
I'm thinking better
I think
than
you guys are
Lazy
crazy.
Cut.
I think I've spent enough time with this deck. I think it is that good.
I'd go either above or below Matang Metal.
You guys are crazy.
I think it's better than Matang
Yeah,
Metal.
I've said where I think it is, but
What did you say, John?
no, I think it's below. Like,
Yeah.
it can do the thing. It's like, again, can it do the thing for 6 out of 7 rounds or 5 out of 7 rounds?
It does it a lot.
Nah, bro. I just don't think it's. I think this is good. Let's move on.
Whatever, man.
I've got the mouse over here.
All right.
Yeah,
Why has the Pig Pony Slug lasted this long on the board?
that could be our next one. As I'm just picking randomly. I'm going in no particular
Let's
order.
go C tier, bro. Let's go C tier.
Yeah, Wo-Chien grass ending up kind of at the upper end of the middle of B tier. Pig Pony Slug, it's got to be in C tier. It's a fire deck.
For sure.
yeah,
It's not F tier. If you're gonna play a fire deck, this is probably the one to play.
better than
Lost Zone Psychic.
Not as good as Size. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, definitely better than Lost. I'm so disrespectful to Lost Zone Psychic, man. It's a psychic deck. It is a psychic deck.
Psychic definitely isn't that bad.
No,
it's
not.
so different than any other psychic deck.
At this point, it's just
the
funny.
most different psychic deck.
Okay, that's the we have the Hunter Love with the Lazy Code moving up. We also have the Hunter Hate with Lost on Psychic.
Hunter has got some takes, so that's very appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pig Pony Slug. That's fine. It's let's give it its better than one deck kind of props. The Wagons, the new Evo Dragons, the other FGG special Dylan's Evolving Dragons deck. Finally, a second way to play dragons. Definitely, I think it's got to go probably B tier. I don't know if it's reaching the same highs as those A tier decks.
All right, which we all have dragon in the top 8. What version of dragon specifically do we think is in the top 8?
I could see argument for either, but I still think Dragons falls a little below the potential of basic dragons.
I think so too, and I think it's because Jericho Box can just run hot.
Yeah,
it can run real hot,
and you need to.
I think that's a
Jericho Box
and a best of one. I think that can be a big advantage.
I agree. I think I'm, upper levels of B tier.
Man,
but
you guys hate me, bro.
not the top. No, we don't hate you, Tony. You've said
Wait,
yourself.
where do you want it, Tony?
Tony, I quote Tony, this deck cannot beat Psychic.
This deck can't beat Psychic.
Literally,
And,
like a couple
then
hours
what
ago.
do we? That statement alone makes me want to drop all the way down to bottom of B tier, bro.
Can Drago Box be Psychic though?
I'm more often than Dwagons, probably.
Yeah.
Listen, I was just frustrated when I said that. You're quoting me out of context.
Right there. I like that. Above the new fighting deck, yeah, but not as good as Curse Kiss.
Yeah,
That
like fifth
genuinely hurts.
Fifth place in
Dude,
B tier.
there's
That's
a hard line
respectable.
at Curse Kiss. There's a hard line at Curse Kiss, like right below it.
That
There's
genuinely hurts my soul.
That is a respectable placement for the Dwagons deck. It's not that far down. You look at all the decks above it. It's not that far down.
You're telling me you would rather play Turbo Dark? You would rather evolve into a Golbat and draw 2 cards?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, that's insane.
I think if anything, that's an argument that
you'd rather evolve into Direct Cloak and draw 1 card.
Yeah, I would, because I would also rather evolve into Dragonair and then use that Dragonair to search for Gabite and then evolve into Gabite and then search for whatever else.
While you're doing all that, I'm taking 2 prizes with Guzzlord.
No, you're not, bro. No, you're not, bro.
It's only 3 spots away from it. That means they're practically the same, all right? It's not that big of a deal.
No, bro. I just want... I have to fight for what I think is right.
That's respectable,
I think that this is wrong.
If people disagree with me, they can tell me in the comments that I'm a fascist dictator.
Yeah, everybody in the comments, hashtag Tony was right, hashtag I stand with Tony.
Anyways,
Come on, let's get back
Grimsley's
to
move dark. Getting out that item lock Tyranitar, maybe a Hydreigon, maybe a King Gambit, maybe falling down to the bottom of C tier. It's
This
just,
deck's not even that much different than Turbo Dark, bro.
but it's different enough to make it
Turbo
much
Dark
worse
plays?
because you're playing Turbo Dark, but then you're also playing like cards that you're not going to use for more than half your game. So half of the games that you play. So it's just like that makes a huge difference for Dark.
Yeah, this is C tier, no doubt about it in my mind.
Yeah.
Above size spread for sure. Above Earthworm?
Too gimmicky.
Right there. Let's give Orthworm its roses.
Yeah, that's a top 8 proven deck. It's got to go below that.
True.
Yeah.
Then finally, we've got Turbo Colorless, far cry away from its original power with double energies, but still quite good. I think DeAndre has top 8'd with Turbo Colorless since the DCE ban. You avoid some fighting matchups. I don't hate its matchup into Psychic, to be honest. Outside of like the blindside Blacephalon deck, because Blacephalon is just extremely powerful against your board state. So that's like the one major downside, but similar to like...
Gotta be better than Turbo Dark, right?
I think it's buddying up with Dwagons.
No, I agree. It's higher. I think it's higher.
You think it's higher?
I think it's higher. I think...
Maybe put it under Dogi Loop.
Better than Curse Kiss? Yeah.
Better than Curse Kiss.
Yeah,
under Dogi Loop.
Under that hard line there I was talking about.
This is a deck though. I mean, for my own opinion to be out there, this is a deck I could see sneaking in to top 8 for sure. Like it has the potential. Harambe just has more potential. That's why it's an A tier. But Turbo Colorless could definitely go on a run. Because I mean, it is one of those decks that has a lot of tech space. You could fit a lot of specific counter cards, and then you hit matchups where those counter cards like actually end up mattering. That could help a lot. So, all right, we've got all the archetypes on the board that we've listed. Again, I just want to say I'm sorry I can't get every archetype up here. If I didn't include it, it's probably because I've never really seen it in action. The one archetype that came to mind while we were doing this is like the Snot Spread Turbo Blaze deck with Articuno. Shock Lock, sure, like Lightning Control. Harder to gauge, especially the Snot Spread. I don't know where the Snot Spread would go. It's a cool deck. But because we don't know, we'd probably end up putting it at the middle of B tier, just like every other deck.
Yeah, we don't have experience with even some of the ones we have on this
Yeah.
list. We've admitted we don't have experience with, so
Yeah.
take those opinions accordingly on those decks.
Yeah, take this all with a grain of salt. This is all just
Yeah.
fun speculation. Who knows what's actually going to happen, what we're going to end up playing.
Come to the 3K and beat us with a deck that we have in C tier.
Yeah, that'll be
That
fun.
could happen.
That'll be fun. It will happen for sure to a lot of
It
people.
will definitely happen. Yeah.
Again, yeah, the space between the tiers is pretty fine. A lot of these decks have similar power levels until you get to like the top of A and S tier. It'll be fun to see what happens. Yeah, I'm super excited for the 3K. And reviewing this afterwards to see how close we were. But yeah, like quickly, like predictions, like just meta percentage wise. John, you were saying 40% psychic decks in the room. Like
I said 35 to 45% psychic. Well, like what did we hit? What was colorless around for the Journey Together?
I think it was like 25 to 30.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
was it
like
really?
20.
I might
it was
be
like
shit. I
30,
might be
I
shit.
wanna say.
I don't know, but psychic is it. I could see it being more. Maybe I'm a little excessive there. Maybe closer to like that 30%, 30 to 35. I could see.
I think 35 to me would read as like extremely high. Like that's like on the very higher end of what I think I would expect to see. I think 25 to 30. Yeah, 30. I mean, just think like, say there's 100 people.
I think 30
Yeah,
is like a really
30. I think
comfortable
30 to
number.
35 is probably a good guess there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we assume there's going to be around 100 players probably, so I was like 30. I think that seems completely reasonable.
Yeah, on average. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
second best type, water or fighting? Probably fighting.
Water, fighting.
Maybe Tide.
Probably both around like the 10, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably a pretty steep drop off to like Dragon and Colorless and Dark from there.
Dragon, Dark, Colorless. Yeah. Those three, like.
Yeah. And then, 2 to 3 decks each for the remaining types.
Yeah.
I think that's a very pretty generous prediction there.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a look. I'll tweet this out as well. Get some. Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you vehemently disagree with our takes, because God knows that there are probably a lot of you that do.
What's your favorite take and what's your least favorite take? And
That's
why is your least favorite take Dwagons being all the way in the middle of B tier?
Tony's mad.
That deck's so good.
That deck's fine.
we got it right. We
No,
got it
bro.
right.
Well, you've been playing Egg Mill for 1 million weeks in a row.
And hating
I've been
every
grinding
second
with
of
the
it.
Dwagons. Yeah, I've been having fun.
Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna wrap us up for the pre-3K episode of the Gym Leader Chat Lounge podcast. Please tune in to Tricky Gym stream this weekend. Watch it all unfold. We're gonna be there having a blast, and hopefully taking home a couple top 8 spots. It'll be really exciting to talk to you guys all afterwards to recap it, talk about our deck choice, what happened, if we badged or if we busted, and go from there. But thank you so much for all the support as always. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share. All really appreciated. We've got some fun plans for the 3K as well, both content wise and other things to look out for. So yeah, subscribe if you're a big fan of GLC. We love you. Any final words from either of you?
Nothing for me. Thank you guys for watching, of course. Thank you for the support.
All right.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We will GL see you either at or after the 3K.